counting down the days until Detroit shows the world how the draft should be done. Woodward Sports, your official Detroit draft partner. Listen for great insight into the draft, places to go, and what's happening in the city.
The Detroit Lions select.
See you downtown for the draft. You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports. And with the first pick in the 2024 media draft, Detroit selects Woodward Sports. Thank you for making us the #1 digital network in Detroit.
What up, though, people? Thank you guys for choosing to kick off your day with the Wake Up Woodward crew. And we got the entire starting five on the show today. Just 2 days away from the NFL draft right here in Detroit City. Flannel Sam, how are you feeling this morning, my brother?
You know, I'm feeling a lot better coming into here. Unfortunately, I stayed up watching that goddamn Lakers-Nuggets game, and I got like 3 hours of sleep, and I was miserable. But you know what? It's all good because I need to stop focusing on other teams anyway and just lock in on Detroit sports. The Tigers won. The draft is coming to Detroit, and that's all I really need to focus on. The important things, right?
The important things in life. You know, hey, can we get just for this show, can we get a kiss the rings?
Kiss the rings.
Let's go. Kiss the rings.
Damn
go
right.
Blue, baby. Hey, and let's talk about this elite booth over here. We got KG, Detroit's #1 draft pick in the sound booth.
What up,
How's it
though?
going this morning, brother?
Hey, I'm good, man. How about y'all?
At nobody.
Damn right. Y'all know what it is.
Woodward Sports MVP, Mr. JBSMOOOOOV. What up, though, brother?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Chilling.
Good morning.
And Mr. Broda, Mr. Matthew Broda.
Good morning, fellows.
Good morning.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you feeling?
I'm great.
Hey, you
I'm
wanna tell the people what we talking about?
Scooble and the Lions.
Hey, let's
Yep.
go. That's about it.
Hey,
Yeah.
I mean, what else is there to
That's
talk
the day.
about? We might sneak in some Javi Baez in there, but no, we got a few games to play to kind of paint some draft scenarios. We got a live mock draft with the chat where you're making all the picks for the Lions at 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, we're putting up a poll every single pick of yours, and we're doing it. We're doing it. This is like
go.
T-minus 2 days till the draft. I can't wait.
Cannot wait. But there was one more thing that kind of made a little bit of news
Oh, yeah.
this week. Dusty May, University of Michigan men's basketball head coach. He's had quite a week. We got Mr. Flannel Sam on this show, so you guys already know. We got to break it down just a little bit.
I mean, the reality is when you have a coaching turnover like that, losing Juwan Howard, they lost Terrace Reed, they lost Doug McDaniel, they lost Olivia Kamoa to graduation. And I get it, they were players on an 8-24 team, but in order to, you have a couple of options if you're Dusty May. You can play the long game, you can recruit, or you can do the transfer portal and try to get better quickly, or you could do a little bit of both. And certainly with the transfer portal, Dusty May has been cleaning up this week. It seems like they prioritize shooting and size, that's for sure. They got Danny Wolf from Yale, 7-footer. You got Reuben Jones, Trey Donaldson, 40% three-point shooters. You got Roddy Gale from Ohio State, stole him from Ohio State.
Go Blue.
Even though Roddy Gale didn't shoot the ball very well last year, he did the year before, and I think he's going to be good for this team. And, of course, a high upside 6'9" wing in Sam Walters. I'll tell you what, to me, that has the makings. I'm not going to say of Big Ten contenders or anything like that because I would still love to potentially for Dusty May to land a couple or at least one of the Florida Atlantic imports or guys who entered the transfer portal. But I think this has the makings of a potential tournament team, especially in a Big Ten where I would say it's not the best right now. Honestly, if you can just get a few good transfer portal players and they can all play together well, this is a team you can go from worst to a tournament team in a year in this Big Ten.
Wow.
That's
I like
right.
that. I like that. So you're feeling much better, much more optimistic about Michigan basketball.
Well, I feel like Michigan finally has a basketball team again. I mean, it got to the point where last year it was just it went from just getting my heart ripped out every game to spite watching to hate watching to the point where when it came to senior night, I was like, I'm glad only 50 people showed up in that arena. Good. I was pissed. But you know what now? I'm happy now, at least when it comes to Michigan basketball.
Hey, and you know what else actually makes me pretty happy? It's these Detroit Tigers, man. Look, they got a win Monday night versus Tampa Bay Rays, 7-1. 7-1.
Yeah.
Hey, and shout out to Eduardo O'Neill. He was on chats last night, on socials last night, engaging and such. And one of the things that came to mind was how happy Mr. Matthew Broder probably was with the pitching of Tree Skubal and the bats finally waking up.
Yeah.
Bro, 11 hits, 2 home runs, 7 runs. Fran, I see that smile on your face.
No, it's fantastic to watch. And honestly, when you look at yesterday's game, I want to look at yesterday's game really quick, and I want to look at the season as a whole. Obviously, Tarek Skubal pitching 6 innings, shutout baseball, looking like a Cy Young candidate, another feather in the cap of his Cy Young case. That's awesome. That's what the Tigers need in order for them to accomplish the goals that they want to accomplish this season, which I think is winning the division. And also, you saw some life from the 7, 8, and 9 spot. Parker Meadows 1 for 4 with a home run. You had Javi Baez 2 for 4 with an RBI. You had Jake Rogers 2 for 3. Javi Baez. And here's the thing. For most of the season, 7, 8, 9 is pretty much out automatically. Those are by the numbers. If you're an opposing pitching staff, that's basically what you could count on when you were facing the 7, 8, 9 hole with the Detroit Tigers. However, all of these guys, it doesn't matter how bad they've been this season. Parker Meadows showed last season that he is capable of being better than this, that there's some precedent that he will get out of it. Same with Javi Baez. And here's the thing about Javi Baez, and a lot of people are going to laugh at me for this, but I don't give a damn. If Javi Baez just gives you what he was in 2022, in which he was a 278 on-base percentage guy, a 16 home run guy. That's not a good season by any stretch of the imagination. But from the 8 spot, I'll take it on this team. And, of course, Jake Rogers, he was maybe the worst of them all at the plate this year so far. But Jake Rogers last season, he was an over 700 OPS guy and a 21 home run guy, which means that none of these guys, I think, are as bad as they've shown so far in the season, and there was a little bit of life shown from the 7, 8, 9 spot, and I certainly love that. When you look at the whole season, the last 2 starts, Casey Mize, 6 innings, no earned runs. Tarek Skubal, 6 innings, no earned runs. You look at a guy like Mark Canha, for example, a guy that people just forgot about in the offseason. Oh my God, we didn't get Matt Chapman. Oh my God, we didn't get JD Martinez. Oh my God, we didn't get Cody Bellinger. They didn't spend anything. They don't take it seriously. Mark Canha, I always told you was going to be that guy. And so far, I was right. This season, 396 on base percentage. 396 on base percentage. 4 home runs. And you know how I know he was going to be that guy? Because he's been an on base percentage demon. He's basically exactly what the character of and the player of Scott Hatteberg was for the 2002 Oakland A's of the Moneyball era. They're different players, but a guy who you think of, it's like Mark Canha, but all he does is get on base. Riley Green, I've noticed it throughout early in his career, and we've all seen it. He's a guy that has that special strike zone discipline. A guy that when his bat heats up a little bit is a guy that I think could be a 400 on base percentage guy, perennially 388 on base percentage. Kerry Carpenter has an over 900 OPS, 355. And of course, the Tigers bullpen is number 1 in all of the MLB.
Damn
so
right.
my point is to mentioning all of this is that if you want the Tigers to win a division, Tarek Skubal being a Cy Young candidate, you need that. Casey Mize being a number 2 pitcher, a guy who you could see being an ace level pitcher someday. We've gotten that so far, and that's what you need. That's very advantageous. Guys like Mark Canha, Riley Green, and Kerry Carpenter consistently getting on base, high OPS numbers, good power. We've gotten that. And, of course, a dominant bullpen, which all leads up to the formula of them being a 13-10 team. So, yes, I'm very excited about the Detroit Tigers right now.
Very exciting. You know what? Throughout all the teams they've played, there's been some that people say these are some of the weaker teams. There's been some who at the time were leading their division, like the Pirates. They've won some, they've lost some, but in each of these games, especially on the high points, they've shown me a little bit more potential than I thought they even had. The whole key here is the consistency of it all. Can they put this thing together a lot more than just maybe one time a series? Obviously, against the Pirates, only played them twice. But to see that they have hit the ball well in a few of these games, it really encourages me. I believe the pitching is going to be there all year. If these bats can just show us something consistently, man, I really like what they have going on in the AL Central, man. What's good, brother?
Especially earlier in the game, when they can get a lead early like they have in these last two games, and then you have Mize and Scooble go out there and just shut the door from the first inning on. What a luxury. I wrote the same thing down that Sam just said. That bottom of the order, that 7, 8, 9, that was the difference almost in the game yesterday. And although Parker Meadows was only 1 for 5, he still had some strikeouts, and he still got some things to work on. When those guys produce, this team is dangerous. I don't want to say they're some amazing team quite yet, but they're dangerous. They're dangerous. And when you look at those 7, 8, 9 hitters, Sam might not like this part, the things they do even when they're not hitting, like Javi Baez, his base running right now is elite. It's part of some of the best in all of MLB, and his defense. Jake Rogers calls an incredible game behind the plate. These last two games for Casey Mize and Tarek Skubal, the games that Jake Rogers has called they've been fantastic. And then Parker Meadows, we know how good of a defender he is. If they can just scrape together the Mendoza line, like Sam said, this team is dangerous. But Skubal, man, what Skubal did yesterday, like we see the flashes of brilliance. He's right up there. Like there's no reason to even consider him not in the Cy Young race anymore. Like he's one of the definitely a top 10 pitcher in all of baseball. And it's easy. When you see what he did last night with 5 pitches, he's generating whiffs, generating swings and misses on both of his fastballs, on his changeup. His changeup was disgusting. His slider. It's so fun to watch. He goes right at them in the strike zone. Yesterday, he was finding early in the count, getting ahead early in the count with that changeup, with that two-seamer. And then he could put him away with a 97, 98, 99-mile-an-hour fastball on the inner part of the plate. He's as good as it gets in the majors.
Broder is having pitcher's wet dream right now, and I absolutely love it.
Right.
I do. And, I have one question here because – this pitching, it's the elite aspect of this team, and to keep that as the most elite kind of position group on this squad, what do you guys think about Matt Manning long-term this season? Is he somebody that you see joining this rotation in some way, shape, or form, even if it's as a relief? Obviously, his 2 starts up here I thought were pretty good, especially if Maeda might be one of the weak links in this kind of starting pitching core.
Well, Maeda doesn't look so good right now.
No.
I will just say that. And I was somebody who had some high hopes for him. I thought he was at least going to be that veteran presence, that guy that gave you at least 20 to 25, maybe 30 starts, gave you an ERA of like 4.5. But right now it's not working out quite yet. And we all know that Kenta Maeda is one of those guys who's a slow starter. However, if this continues, if Kenta Maeda's starts become almost like an automatic shelling or an automatic L, that can't continue when you have a guy like Matt Manning in the minors right now. I understand Kenta Maeda's a veteran. You paid him a good amount of money. But at some point, you got to make him a long reliever or something if this team is going to want to accomplish what we know that they can. It's still early. Kenta Maeda can turn it around, but yeah, it is a little bit disappointing to know that Matt Manning isn't up here when I think he is clearly one of the 5 best starters on this team.
Yeah, brother, you just have this look of approval on your face as a pitcher, man.
Well, that's I'll a disclaimer. He's got to pitch better. Like, he can't be giving up all these home runs. He's got to be able to get deeper into the games. But do you guys like how Casey Mize's splitter's looking? How he's throwing that confidently?
Yeah.
Well, that's partly because of Kenta Maeda. You get rid of Maeda, Casey Mize's splitter gets worse. That's one of the pitches that Kenta Maeda was brought here to help Casey Mize with. It's not the entirety of Casey Mize's pitching. Maeda doesn't get all the credit, but that is a huge reason. Just as we see Mark Canha, who is producing, helping a lot of these hitters like Riley Green have a more disciplined approach at the plate. So there is more to it. He's pitching bad enough where these questions are warranted. Like, I can't fight back too much, but there are other things that he's bringing to this team, other leadership, especially from a pitching standpoint with a young staff. Maeda is more important than he looks. He just got to pitch better.
And you're saying, like, not even just in a motivational way, but in an even more tangible way, if you could see the improvements in his teammates, I think Flannel will give him a little bit more credit than he would CJ.
Especially in pitching, there's so much like studying that goes on, and so much you're bouncing ideas off of the other pitchers in the rotation all day long, every single game. You're watching the game with them. Earlier in the series, who goes after Maeda? whoever pitches on Wednesday, tomorrow, they're going to be talking to. They were talking to Maeda, sitting next to him last night, talking about these things. So especially in a rotation in the bullpen, pitchers they talk a lot with each other and they plan for their next outing. So he's important. He's got to pitch better.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. I think we would both agree that if he continues at this pace,
yes,
everything else he does be damned. But even if he's just an average pitcher, I can understand where some of those aspects that you talked about are warranted. I'll give you that. And I think he's capable of righting the ship to an extent. Yeah. I mean, honestly, with this pitching staff and this bullpen, if Kenta Maeda gives you innings and he's a sub-5 ERA guy, that's not the worst thing in the world. But right now, he's very far from even that, and that's the problem. But like I said, he might just be he's been a bit of a slow starter, and it's still, that's the funny thing. There's been 23 games. It feels like we're overanalyzing every single game, but at the end of the day, there's still a lot of season left to be played. And Kenta Maeda has really never shown signs that he's washed, that he's not at least capable of being a major league starting pitcher. This could be the year that it happens. It very well could be. But we haven't seen evidence of it yet over a full season. So that gives me hope that he'll at least be decent enough to not be unplayable.
Well, man, the Tigers, 13-10. 13-10. This has been, I think, a start that a lot of us would have taken at the beginning of the season. Yep. Hopefully we get to see a little bit more consistency, and these guys can take a few more of these series in a row. And when we get to this 30-game mark, have a lot more that we could talk about. A little bit more concrete with these Detroit Tigers. Look, we got a lot of NFL on the way now. I think the rest of the show is all about the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
This draft in Detroit City, and kind of talk about the rise of these quarterbacks and how that's kind of affected or changed things in the first round of the NFL draft as well. But first, we got to hear from
Planet Fitness. Hey. Planet Fitness is home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full-body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all of this for only $10 a month, no commitment. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
And you can join Woodward Sports as we broadcast live this Thursday and Friday for the 2024 draft. It's brought to you by Figer Law. Live from the 313 draft party on Woodward Avenue. Live coverage Thursday, 7:30 p.m. to midnight, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. to midnight. Brought to you by Figer Law, Glorious Cannabis, Soroki's Crispy Chicken, and Chill Medicated.
Buying your first Feldman Chevrolet is much more than buying the car that will get you from point A to point B. It's a place for first memories, some big, some small. As she grows, you're not just buying her a Chevy, you're buying into a Feldman family. With more than 700,000 vehicles sold, from generation to generation, Feldman just keeps rolling.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody!
Man, that Premier Pet ad shout out. But let me talk to you guys about Glorious, because the new Ice Water Bubble Hash pre-roll now has diamonds in it, everybody. They are constantly pushing to create the best cannabis experience just for you. The perfect boost comes from their added touch of pure THC diamond dust, allowing flowers with only the highest terps, making the best even better for you. Glorious Cannabis, check them out at your local retailer, or always go to gloriouscanna.com.
Hey, what up, though, people? Welcome back to the Wake Up Woodward show this morning. We appreciate you guys choosing to start your day with us. Just 2 days away from the NFL draft right here in the city. We hope to see you all at the 3 draft party, where we will be broadcasting live, and we will be corresponding with Mr. Matthew Broder as well, who will have boots on the ground at the actual NFL draft. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I'm getting more and more excited because Brad Holmes is going to do something that absolutely wows one half of Detroit Lions fan base, and it makes the other half proverbially do the Braylon Edwards get up and walk out the room thing. And something that I believe is absolutely kind of shaping up this draft a little bit more in the Lions' favor is how these quarterbacks have continued to rise and rise and rise and rise. And I think it's going to definitely change up how teams either trade up into that, or how teams just decide, hey, I'm going to stay put and I'm going to pick. But we got some quarterbacks here, Mr. Matthew Broder. Which QB should go second in an NFL draft? I know that's a poll you wanted to get up on the in the chats as we break down the rank of these quarterbacks, starting with proverbial number 1, Caleb Williams, right?
Oh yeah. That's
without a doubt. You guys,
so let's just rank these quarterbacks. This is like to set the stage for the draft, like the quarterbacks and how they fall, whether it's 3, whether it's 4 in the top 5, whether Penix and Bo Nix go in the first round. It's going to affect a lot about what falls to the Lions at 29, or what's made available in the late teens or the 20s for the Lions to move up. So this is more of a table setter. I want to get your guys' opinion. How would you rank these? And the poll is going to be who should go at number 2, because I think we assume Caleb Williams is going to go at number 1. But I just want to see your guys' take on how you would rank these. Maybe you don't have Caleb Williams at number 1. I'm just curious where they would fall for you. So, Flan, I'm looking at you. I'm going to go to you first.
All right. So I do have Caleb Williams at 1. At 2, I would give the slight edge, even though Neil Rule would probably think that I'm lying. I'm not. I'm going to go with Jaden Daniels as the slight edge at number 2, because he throws just the prettiest deep ball. He can make all of the throws. He's fundamentally sound. He's smart. A dynamic athlete. And we've seen how much that can help you as an NFL quarterback. Hello, Lamar Jackson. Guys like Lamar Jackson and Michael Vick walked so Jaden Daniels can run, although Jaden Daniels is also a perfectly adequate passer both on the run and in the pocket. And also with Jaden Daniels, what I was impressed about him with this season is he was LSU's running game, and he was one of the best passers in the nation, and he helped carry an uncharacteristically poor LSU defense. So the reason that I put him over J.J. McCarthy is because I think he's a better athlete, and because we've seen him have to win games almost completely by himself. And with J.J. McCarthy, we haven't really had to do that, although J.J. McCarthy has done more than people give him credit for. At the third quarterback, the second after Caleb Williams, I would put J.J. McCarthy because of the upside, because of the arm strength, because of the mobility, because of the smarts, the leadership, the ability to throw on the run, all of that. He has a higher under pressure grade metric than even Jaden Daniels does. So J.J. McCarthy is a guy that could surprise people. He's a guy that I think could even contend for Rookie of the Year. That upside is just something you can't ignore. At number 4, the third after Caleb Williams, I got Drake May. Drake May's one. Great size, great arm, underrated mobility. The one reason why I would put him under J.J. McCarthy is because he's not as efficient of a passer. He's not as great under pressure. He tends to miss some throws, get careless, and he throws too many interceptions. At number 5, the fourth after Caleb Williams, I've got Bo Nix. Because Bo Nix, quite simply, when you look at passing metrics, nobody had a better season than Bo Nix. He was ranked just as well under pressure as without a pressure, as a great deep ball, intermediate, all of that. With Bo Nix, the problem is he's kind of a one-read quarterback. The way I look at Bo Nix is somebody prospect-wise who is a more mobile Mac Jones. And there's nothing wrong with being Mac Jones. It's just Mac Jones was kind of unspectacular but solid. And he was a great college quarterback, and I think his career has been partially ruined by what happened in New England with all that mess with having Matt frickin' Patricia call plays. That plays a role. And the reason I have him
Sure does.
The reason that I have him above Michael Penix is because Michael Penix, he's got the 2 ACLs. He's not as efficient as Bo Nix. He has a too high of an interception rate. Sometimes he gets careless with the intermediate throws, and under pressure, he was kind of average. So for those reasons, I'll just recap very, very quickly, and this is post-Caleb Williams.
And I do have a question for you after that.
Jaden Daniels, J.J. McCarthy, Drake May, Bo Nix, Michael Penix.
All right, J.J. McCarthy. Obviously, you've been
Yes.
very, very consistent with your support of him and what
Yes.
you believed he could be at the next level. We know that Ryan Romani has definitely
Yes.
been one of those guys kind of leading the charge with JJ as a he said top 1 quarterback at one point in time. I don't know if that's how he still feels, but where has this kind of rise come from JJ McCarthy? Is it just the things that Jim Harbaugh is saying to the media? What have they seen between effectively his college career, in which some people believe he might have been underutilized, but they still believe that he didn't really show as much as the other top quarterbacks, versus or in addition to what he also did at the NFL Combine?
Well, I think when you look at J.J. McCarthy, it's kind of a narrative that's thrown around that, the entire offense was just Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, and all that all the time. J.J. McCarthy didn't have to do anything. However, J.J. McCarthy, when you actually look at the numbers, when you look at the film, he had a lot more NFL throws on a game-to-game basis than you would ever know. He was more of their offense this season was more of a passing offense over the totality of a season than it was the year before. Blake Corum didn't rush for as many yards this year as the year before. Donovan Edwards certainly did not. He had a down year. And when you see J.J. McCarthy, you look at the upside. You look at the plays he makes on the run, like that big 3rd and 8 in the national championship game in which he was able to scramble for a first down. You look at that tight window throw to Roman Wilson in the Ohio State game. You look at the roll to your right and throw it basically a dot to Roman Wilson in the left corner. Roll to your left, throw an absolute dot to the left corner of the end zone to Roman Wilson. You look at one of those throws he had against Michigan State, right past Cal Halliday's ear hole, right into Colston Loveland. And also one of the best plays of all, which speaks to his athleticism and his arm strength, was that one where he saved maybe a game-altering turnover by Donovan Edwards by catching it with one hand, backpedaling off his back foot with Dallas Turner rolling in his face. Perfect throw to Roman Wilson. It didn't have as much zip on it as you would like, but he was rolling. He was backpedaling. So I guess it's the upside. It's the skill set. It's if you turn on the film, you see plays every single game that almost look Mahomesian. I'm not saying he's Patrick Mahomes, but on a game-to-game basis, he can make all of the throws.
You know, when we saw the matchup between Michael Penix and J.J. McCarthy in the national championship game, I thought we saw a tale of two different types of quarterbacks. Both of them highly talented. One of them asked to play a specific role for his team to get to the next level, and that's J.J. McCarthy. And the other one, and Michael Penix, who was asked really to kind of be one of those that carries the offensive brunt. With J.J. McCarthy, though, we saw him do throughout his entire college career that I believe is a feather in his cap. It's just how consistent he was with doing what University of Michigan asked him to do. With how consistent every week he led and led and led, regardless of what he thought he could be. Like, oh, you know what? I should be able to get a few more throws. I should maybe have a few more design runs. Instead, he just went out there and had this kind of singular purpose to help get his guys to the top of the NCAA football world, and he did that. And I think that that's something when you're talking about the next level, if a guy can show a lot of the talent you talked about, put together with the leadership qualities that JJ has shown, I think that bodes really, really well when you're talking about why he might be rising up these charts.
Yeah, and you need that from the quarterback position. You know that I'm not the biggest intangible guy, but from the quarterback position, where you have to be a leader of men, where you have to be that adult in the room, that high character guy, with J.J. McCarthy, and along with the coaching staff as well, the way that the team was able to be galvanized and they didn't crumble amidst the couple of scandals that went on with the Michigan football program, and they were able to use it to their advantage. That speaks a lot to the leadership from top to bottom, and that includes the quarterback. And I think that's a huge feather in his cap, at least that if you get J.J. McCarthy as your quarterback, he's going to be that adult in the room. You don't have to worry about his mental makeup like, say, Caleb Williams, for example. And I'm not saying that J.J. McCarthy is a better prospect than Caleb Williams. I'd take Caleb #1 overall over J.J., but it's stuff that you don't have to worry about with J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah. What up, though, KG?
Hey, what up, man? And shout out to the chat, too. I love y'all in the chat. But I got to agree with Sam's list. The only thing I would probably change is I would put Penix ahead of Bo Nix, but it's really a toss-up between the two. You got one guy who's injury-prone with all the talent in the world, and the other guy who is arguably a system quarterback. It's still yet to be seen whether he can do it on the NFL stage. But I would have to, after Caleb Williams, I would have to go Jaden Daniels. To me, he's the most NFL-ready quarterback at the moment. And if I'm Washington, that's something you absolutely need. You need a quarterback that's going to be able to come in day one and start to make an impact for your team. But after that, I would have to do Drake May at 3. And then, like I said, Michael Penix and then Bo Nix 5th.
All right.
What about you, JB? Because I heard you making some noises over here when Sam was talking about J.J. McCarthy, your namesake.
That was only for J.J. McCarthy's sake.
Yeah.
And, look, I'm not a Michigan slappy or not a Michigan hater or anything like that. I got to give credit where credit's due. If I'm ranking these quarterbacks, it's got to be Jaden Daniels, 1. 2, all right, I'll put my favoritism aside. I will give it to J.J. He does seem to have that intangibles out on the field. He has a QB presence that he knows what he needs to get done out on the field, but we just haven't seen that as much in his college career. I think some of the biggest games during the regular season, you kind of just handed the ball off to Blake Corum, which I get. No offense. Like, I know Michigan is a run-first offense type of team, but in big games like that, and if so much of Jim Harbaugh talking so highly of this guy, why don't you put the ball in his hand a lot more often, which you didn't. So I just kind of got to go with it off of that. He did amazing during the playoffs, and I give him a hell of a credit for that as well, too. That guy is tough as hell. So I'm ranking him 2. Drake May, for me, honestly, is going to be at the bottom. I just got to put him at 5 right there. I just do not care for him at all. 3rd, I'm going with Bo Nix. And 4th, I got to go Michael Penix just because he is very injury prone, and you've seen that during the championship game. Yeah. But you got to give him credit as well too. He didn't lose the fight at all. He was still out there, even though he was wincing in pain every single snap. But that's my top 5.
Dope. Yeah, and Penix, he did show a lot of toughness.
Oh yeah,
his game. When we talked about it, final when we were here in KG, we were here, Broder, we were here watching it. Just that NFL-style defense that Michigan was running at him, he just wore down. By the time he got to the 3rd and 4th quarter, the accuracy was just completely off.
Yeah.
It was off. And his mobility, obviously. Limped off the field, though. Off the field.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Devin Brines, by the way, for becoming a member and also asking us the question, what do you guys think of Fedorov for Wings coach? Devin, I think we're going to revisit that question in mailbag today because that's a whole conversation in itself. I know his contract is up in Russia, so we'll bring that up again. But appreciate you for being here, Devin.
Appreciate you guys. And it's something we talked about before as well. The Red Wings, Fedorov. Hey, there's 2 things that need to happen. Give him some type of look for the organization, and beyond that, hey, how about a jersey in the rafters? It's just about time, man.
100%.
About time. You got to treat your people the best, man. Just like we do with our pets. You know where I go to do that? It is Premier Pet Supplies, hands down. Michigan's best pet store. Same prices and all the conveniences of the online and big box retailer with one major difference. They've been family and locally owned for over 30-plus years. They have 60 brands of food and nutrition experts to help you. Same day, local curbside and home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best at www.premierpetsupply.com.
What's good, man? How you doing? What you got for me today? Let's have a look, man. I see the one I want right there. That's the one I'm looking for.
Welcome to the winner's circle, Blake.
Hey.
Feiger Law. All we do is win.
All we do is win. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. Counting down the days until Detroit shows the world how the draft should be done. Woodward Sports, your official Detroit draft partner. Listen for great insight into the draft, places to go, and what's happening in the city.
The Detroit Lions select.
See you downtown for the draft. Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan and the Jerome Bettis Bus Stops Here Foundation is proud to present the 3C Sports Conference to educate, inform, and inspire players, parents, and coaches in our local communities, featuring impactful speakers like Jerome Bettis, Eddie George, and Adam Schefter, April 24th through the 26th. For more information and tickets, scan the QR code on the screen and sign up today.
Your number 5 NFL draft prospect for the Detroit Lions, Darius Robinson, edge rusher out of Missouri. The versatile prospect can come in on day one and learn from Ali McNeil, learn from Aiden Hutchinson, and provide pass rush and run defense for Aaron Glenn's defense. Glorious. Check out the new Glorious Ice Water Bubble Hash Pre-Roll, Glorious Cannabis at your local retailer or gloriouscanna.com.
What up, dope people? Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. And I can't wait for this segment. Mr. Matthew Broder, our credentialed Lions beat reporter and writer, is releasing his top 5 prospects at 29 for the Detroit Lions. And you guys saw that first one. We went live on socials yesterday. I know we're going to get number 4 out there today. You guys can throw some guesses on who you think will be number 4.
I didn't know they were my top 5. There are 5 that I think are up there. Top 5 out of the top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And hey, fine work too. I don't know if you guys heard Broder's voice acting, his voice overlay.
Oh, yeah.
Great job, Mr. Matthew Broder. And I know KG, we got a special segment on the way with you as well, covering Terry and Arnold. So I can't wait. It's the NFL draft week. The crew is getting busy. We're staying active. 2 days away. 2 days away. Well, we got to talk about. I see you got this thing titled here: Dream, Nightmare, Likely.
Oh yeah.
This is inspired by Roar Roundup by Michael Lucci's. He put out this tweet really asking this question to people on Twitter, asking, hey, what's your dream scenario for the Lions at 21? What's your nightmare scenario? And what is your likely scenario? So that's a question I pulled from Roar Roundup, at Roar Roundup on Twitter, and I want to pose that to you guys.
Give me yours first.
Well, my dream is if Jackson Powers Johnson or Graham Barton fall to the Lions at 29. Like, I think that's a perfect fit. Just take your offensive lineman in the first round. There's my dream. My nightmare is if Brad Holmes picks linebacker Peyton Wilson at 29. I might even throw Edgar and Cooper in there. I love Cooper, but I don't know about at 29. I don't think we need to go linebacker again in the first round. But Peyton Wilson in the first round, that would be my nightmare. And my likely selection, Darius Robinson at 29. Edge, defensive lineman, defensive tag, a little bit of everything out of Mizzou. That's what I think is more of a Brad prediction.
Southfield native Darius Robinson.
Southfield native.
Canton High School, man. Canton High School.
That is, yours, brother. Hey, after all that profiling I did on Edgerrin Cooper, I'm kidding.
I love Edgerrin Cooper, but not at 29.
That's, you know what? I can't even fault you for that. That's a very solid list, Broder. And I'm with you in a lot of different ways, but I certainly didn't want to make the exact same list. So I've got a list myself. My dream scenario for 29 would be if Laiatu Latu, edge rusher from UCLA, falls. Do you want stats? Do you want counting numbers? He's got it. Sacks, tackles for loss, he's got it. Pass rushing metrics, he's got it. Run defense metrics, he's got it. Great size, not elite speed and bend, not like Dallas Turner, but he has enough. Not Jared Verse style strength, but he certainly has enough. This is a guy who is NFL ready and ready to be the bookend edge rusher to Aiden Hutchinson, even above James Houston and Marcus Davenport if need be. Bold prediction, if Laiatu Latu and Aiden Hutchinson are on the same team next year, 25 sacks combined, book it.
Ooh.
My nightmare scenario would be tackle Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma. And again, I don't think that it's likely to happen, but with Tyler Guyton, he's one of those guys whose all athleticism, no technique. He's a guy who just started playing tackle a couple years ago. He had a solid season as far as pass blocking, but as a run blocker, he's really not much to write home about, and he's just so raw. He's a guy that I could see being out of the league in 3 years, even on this Lions offensive line. And my most likely scenario, I'm going to go with Kool-Aid McKinstry on this one at 29. It's just, I know Brad Holmes doesn't always draft for need, but to me, it's such a glaring potential need that could affect the team this year. They are in their Super Bowl window. Kool-Aid McKinstry is a smart, long, technically sound corner. He is better at zone than man, but he's good enough at both. And I think he's that high football IQ, Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes kind of guy. So to recap really quick, I will go with Dream Leatu Latu, edge UCLA. Nightmare, tackle Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma. And what I think is going to happen, Kool-Aid McKinstry, corner from Alabama.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. I like that one a lot. And you know what? The more and more that I listen to you all, the more and more I'm just like, I hope that the Detroit Lions wind up with either Terrion Arnold or they wind up with Jackson Powers Johnson. I am. And the more and more I listen to it, I'm like, yo. And I do want that defensive line help for Aiden Hutchinson, but I do like the additions that they made in the free agency to address that as well. But if they do get their offensive linemen, especially when you look at kind of what the future considerations are for the linemen that are there in their contracts, and if you're going to lock up Jared Goff for the foreseeable future, you want to make sure that offensive line, that it has some stability for years to come.
JPJ would have been my second dream scenario, by the way. Yes. Or like my 1A, 1B. But I love Latu as well, so that's a very solid choice by you, Mr. Matt Broder.
How about this before you guys go? This comment from Beezer is a nice a nightmare scenario I didn't think of, but his nightmare would be giving up next year's first or second to move up in the draft. Kind of for whoever. He just wants to keep hold of that draft capital. He or she.
KG doesn't
I'm assuming
like
he.
that.
It depends on who they get, but I'm not a fan of spending 2 firsts either, but it just depends on who they trying to move up for.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good at all.
Yeah, but to me, my dream scenario, of course, I'm a Terrion Arnold slappy, so the Lions moving up and getting Terrion Arnold in the first round, that's my dream scenario. My nightmare scenario, wide receiver at pick 29.
Really?
I really, to invest that much capital into a wide receiver 3, which will probably be the result, I don't want that. I just feel like there's plenty of wide receivers in this draft. You can easily get one in the second or third. And most likely scenario, probably Chop Robinson at 29. They stay put and they just take whoever best player available is at that time. It'll probably be an edge rusher, and that'll probably be at Chop Robinson. So that's me.
Yeah.
How about this, Dante151 Broder? My dream is Lions trade up for Arnold. My nightmare is stay at 29 and draft a kicker. Yeah, that would be a nightmare. And what I'm fine with is staying at 29 and picking JPJ or Robinson if available. I like that you said Robinson, leaving it open to Chop or Darius.
Yeah, it's like which one? Just either one.
Or Decameron. Oh no, that's Richardson. There are a couple Robinsons in the draft. I see you, Dante.
You know, in my nightmare, it's similar to yours, KG. If the Detroit Lions reach on a wide receiver at 29.
Yeah.
Because where they're going to be picking, it seems like the top ones, the ones that we believe could step in right away, and whether they're supposed to be slotted into wide receiver 3 or not, they can have that talent to get them to wide receiver 2. I think those guys are going to be gone by the time you get to pick 29. And what may be and should be on the board and available to them, listen, the most likely it feels like it's going to be like a Kool-Aid McKinstry type of thing. His name, at one point in time when we began to cover this stuff, he seemed to be a little bit higher up on a lot of these draft boards. Now when we see a lot of these mock drafts, I see Kool-Aid McKinstry kind of dropping a little bit to the Detroit Lions without having to trade up to potentially get him. But the dream, I'm stuck somewhere between Powers and Terrion Arnold.
Ooh.
That's just kind of where I'm at right now. I want to see them go out there and get a difference maker. A surefire difference maker as a cornerback, man. Pair him up well with a guy like Brian Branch, who you can kind of play him all over the place in that defensive backfield. But I want to see them go out there and try and get that guy that they know. This is the future of his side of the field. We can truly depend on him in the ways that they were trying to depend on last year, Cam Sutton.
Yeah.
I want to be able to see them go out there and get that guy. And I know that adding to the defensive line helps that defensive backfield, but I feel like they've made some pretty good additions that are going to pay dividends towards helping free up Aleem, James Houston, and Aiden Hutchinson.
Oh yeah, I don't hate your thought process at all, especially when it comes to wide receiver. And I don't want to give away too much because we're certainly going to be doing a little exercise on a couple of them coming up in the next segment. But there's one receiver in particular that I would love to take at 29. Ooh. The rest of them, there's nothing that Brad Holmes could do, save for actually drafting a kicker, which was one of the guys' nightmare scenarios where I'd be like, what are you doing, Brad? But there's certainly a couple wide receivers that I would be like, okay, I suppose. Like one of those reactions, because it's Brad Holmes. You can't realistically be like,
give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt.
Right? Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
Oh man, JB, man, how's it shaking out for you with these situations? What's your scenarios?
Oh man, what is dream scenario? I've talked about this guy at nauseum. I'm telling you right now, trade up and go get Dallas.
Hey.
See, look,
it's nothing if not consistent.
You guys already know
it's okay.
My nightmare scenario. I probably got to go along with KG. If you draft a wide receiver, someone like a Ladd McConkey, an Anon Mitchell, or Xavier Worthy, something like that.
Don't cuss at Broder like that.
I know. I'm sorry, Broder. I know I'm like going at your guy right now, but I just don't. We don't need a wide receiver at 29. I just can't do that. And if anything, the most likely scenario, you just stay put at 29 and get Darius Robinson, like plain and simple.
Okay.
All right.
Before we get to break, I got to shout out Dad with Tourette's. It's a wedding anniversary. He wanted us to shout out a happy wedding anniversary to him and his wife, Samantha, Mrs. Tourette's, Mom with Tourette's. Hey, 8 years today, baby. Congrats, Dad with Tourette's. Thanks for being a supporter.
Shout out. Anniversary. Hey. But yeah, it's interesting to see what's going to happen. I can't wait to see your final kind of 4, 3, 2, 1 top prospects for the Detroit Lions at 29 as well. So definitely, guys, we're going to continue to play those every day on this show that is sponsored and brought to you by Glorious Cannabis as well. Do you have a tease for who number 4 is tomorrow or today? Or just tell people to tap into socials, Mr. Broder? Hey, tap into socials.
What happened? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Do you want to tease prospect number 4 or tell them to tap into socials?
Yes. Tab into socials. I want to play this game in the next segment before we do our live mock draft.
Let's go. Who we got to hear from first, JB?
We got Lady James.
All right. Lady James. Awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's Lady James Haircuts for Men. Just stop in, sit back and relax and let one of Lady James' talented hairstylists make you look and feel great. That is Lady James. Walk in anytime, 7 days a week. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
To any Lady James Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady James today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady James has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady James Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
BGCSM 3C Sports Conference is coming during NFL Draft Week, starting on April 24th. Special guests will include Jerome Bettis, Barry Sanders, Eddie George, Aleem McNeil, Calvin Johnson Jr., Sean H. Wilson, Cynthia Freeland, Adam Scheffner, and more. This event is open to athletes, coaches, and parents, but space is limited. So go to our website and purchase your tickets today at www.bgcsm.org.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Hey, you guys, are you tired of wearing that same old Detroit sports merch? Man. Well, it is a new era in sports wearables with new designs, amazing apparel, and the ultimate swag. Look, go to woodwardsports.com, click on that shop tab. I'm telling you right now, the draft is coming up sooner than you think, and you want to be decked out in Woodward sports gear. How can you not like this Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes election hoodie that we got going on right there? Or if you're a fan of the Detroit sign, I'm not. We got the shirt for you as well, too. Go to woodwardsports.com, click on that shop tab, get swagged out. The draft is almost here. Come on, baby.
Hey, let's go. What up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you guys for choosing to kick off your day with us in this draft week. Just 2 days away from the NFL draft. right here in Detroit City. Chat family, as always, you're a very important part of this show and our crew and our family. So go on ahead and smash that like button once you've done that. Encourage somebody else to do the same. It helps us out tremendously. We appreciate all the support that we do get. Now, brother, you said that you couldn't wait for this segment to get going.
Yeah, I've got a handful of players who might be available for the Lions at 29, and I want to get a sense of where you guys not rank them, but how excited you would be to pick them. So I call this game pick, pause, pass. I spell pause like a lion's paw, P-A-W. But the pick, if this is a guy that you want for the Lions, you could see them picking at 29. I want to see you say pick, pick, pick. If it's someone you want to ponder a little bit more, you got to think about, maybe there's some positives, there's some negatives. Maybe we want to talk about it a little more. Pause, pause, pause. And if it's someone you want nothing to do with, Lions, please do not pick this man, this kid, this young man at 29. It's pass, pass, pass. Mm-hmm. So this is a playoff with Sam Flannel's pick, pick, pick. I want to see who you guys will advocate for at 29. So I'm thinking we go around, give me your picks, your pick, pause, or pass, and then we'll talk about them after. If anyone has some comments about why they feel that way, we'll get into that. So I'm going to start with Flannel each time. So my first player at 29. Wide receiver, Keon Coleman out of Florida State. Flannel, pick, pause, or pass?
Pass, pass, pass.
Hey.
If I'll go really, I'll keep it brief. He doesn't separate as well as you think. He's a little bit of a clunkier athlete. I don't think he's a good, as comparison to some. To me, he's not the best quarterback for a Jared Goff that he's going to have chemistry with, just because he doesn't separate. He's not as great of an athlete, and he's going to have to rely on making those contested catches. But even in college, his contested catch rate wasn't what you think it would be for a guy his size. So I'm going to pass on Keon Coleman at 29. 61, I'd consider it, not 29.
Kool-Aid,
Hey.
pick, pause, pass.
Pass right now. I got different plans in mind for the Detroit Lions at pick 29. So I got to pass right now on the wide receivers.
KG.
I just told y'all I want a wide receiver at 29. That is a pass for me, a.k.a. as according to J Bell in the chat, punt. So I will punt that one.
JBZ.
Oh, man, it's a pass for me as well. No disrespect to the former Spartan dog, but I don't want a wide receiver at 29. I'm sorry.
Hey, that's 5 passes out of all of us. Pass, pass, pass for me, too. I wouldn't mind a wide receiver at 29, but not Keon Coleman. Anybody have any other comments about Keon that you want to talk about? I'm kind of with everything you said, Flannel.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I covered it.
Yeah.
I'm good.
All right, how about this
Xavier
next one?
gets better.
Pardon?
I said Xavier gets better.
That's facts.
That is facts. I would at least pause on him. Probably pick. All right, defensive lineman Darius Robinson out of Missouri.
Ooh.
We had him as the number 5 prospect for the Lions. Flannel, pick, pause, or pass?
I would go with pause on this one. I like his versatility. I like the fact that he kind of shined in the defensive end role, and you think he might have a high ceiling because he hasn't been playing the position very, very, very much. But I just think with Darius Robinson, as opposed to other people who might be there, like another guy with the last name of Robinson, the upside for me isn't to where I would be like, pick. Would I mind if the Lions picked him? Absolutely not. I think he projects to be a rotational guy, maybe a starter, but not a star. So I can't get too excited about Darius Robinson. Pause.
You have convinced me. Pause. At first, I was like, you know what? I really like the things that he had to say pre-draft, but when you look at the grand scheme of things of who actually might be there at 29, and based on the list you put together, it could be a lot of good players available to kind of fit what the Detroit Lions' needs are. Right now, it is pause. But I do like Darius Robinson, Southfield native. I do believe that he's somebody that within the system, with Terrell Williams here, maybe he does just enough to give him some technique to kind of take his game to the next level.
I would have to say pick, and for the same reason you just said, Terrell Williams. I want to see Terrell Williams get his hands on Darius Robinson. I feel like he can help his game a lot, but I absolutely cannot be mad if you take an edge rusher at pick 29. It would be pick for me.
JB.
It's a pick for me. He's a fast learner. I think once he gets here, he's definitely going to be ingrained with the whole Detroit organization and their way that they play. So it's definitely a pick for me. Easy.
Yep. Pick for me, too. I think it's a good culture fit, a good fit, even if he is a rotational piece. Like you said, KG, Terrell Williams, get your hands on him. Darius Robinson has some major upside. All right, next one. cornerback / defensive back, Cooper DeJean out of Iowa.
Who?
Pause. And the thing about Cooper DeJean is I love everything about him. I love his athleticism. I like the fact that he did shut down his zone, and his numbers when targeted were very good. This season he was more shut down. Last season he was more of a big play, ball hawk kind of playmaker who gave up some plays as well, but made more on his end. I would say the one thing that's kind of keeping me from being pick on Cooper DeJean is that if I want a corner on this team, especially a team that you could argue needs one, I want somebody who's better in man coverage than Cooper DeJean. So for that reason, Cooper DeJean is just a pause.
I like that.
Ooh, pause. Right now, I got to go pass at pick 29 for the Detroit Lions. If I'm taking a cornerback in that first round, I want it to be somebody that we can trust out there on a potential island. Not that they're going to win all their matchups, but that they at least have the skills and the intangibles to make the wide receiver work. So, pass right now.
KG.
Pass. He's white.
All right.
No, seriously, I would pass.
It's vanilla.
I would pass only because I just don't think he's a good fit for this AG defense. Like Sam said, he's better in zone coverage. His man coverage, he's improved a little bit, but still just not exactly what we need on that outside. So I would pass.
JB.
You said pass because he's white.
Seahorn. It's the Seahorn rule.
Oh, man.
I just got to be real about it.
I think this one's a pause for me. I got to go with Sam on this one. The guy is super versatile, and there's a lot of value in that. Former defensive back of the year, return specialist of the year as well, too. But there's just something off about him that I don't think is a good fit here in Detroit. So it's a pause for me.
See, I'm paused on the prospect, but for the Lions at 29, if he falls there, I'm pick. I think the upside's way too high. I mean, this is arguably a top 10 prospect. He might fall because he doesn't necessarily do one thing amazing, but he does a lot of things really good. I picture him like a Iffy, like a Kirby, like more as a versatile safety. You can play all over the secondary. You pair that with special teams, what he can do with these new kickoff rules. I think at 29, he's a pick. I'm paused on the prospect, but for the Lions, pick.
I'm closer in line with you than the people who are saying pass, like
Fair.
the KGs and the Kool-Aids. You made a compelling case. I would still say pause, but leaning towards being fairly happy if Cooper DeJean's the pick.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do two more real quick. Offensive lineman, I'll call him a center. Zach Frazier out of West Virginia.
I would say pause on this one. Out of all the ones at 29, I think there's three that might be available, 2 for sure. He's the one that I would want the least, just because he's obviously he's a good pass blocker, he's a good run blocker, he's obviously a powerful kind of guy, but he doesn't have the dominance of, say, another guy whose initials are JPJ, and he doesn't quite have the positional versatility of like a guy whose initials are GB. The only reason that I'm not saying their names is because they might be later on in this segment. So to me, I would say pause. He's not my favorite at 29.
Yeah, I'm more in line with you as well. Like I said earlier, one of my dreams right now is either Terran Arnold or JPJ on the offensive line, and you need somebody to be able to bolster this offensive line for the future. Not somebody who's just coming here just for depth, but somebody that you believe can step up, and play a big role for years to come. So right now, I got to say pass on Mr. Frazier.
Yeah, it'll be a pass for me too. If you're gonna do that, you might as well go get JPJ. He's more versatile.
Yep.
I would prefer to have JPJ or Graham Barton, like you said, but that's a pass for me.
So KG, like instead of taking him at 29, maybe trading up into the early 20s if JPJ or Barton falls.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. JB.
I think I'm gonna go with pause on this one as well. Just a simple fact, he comes from that wrestling background, so he has that leverage and, potential frame, but he's not a JPJ, as we've all said, so he's kind of like that second tier, if you think that way. And at 29, I think there's probably better options out there. So if he falls to maybe the third pick, then sure, go ahead and grab him. But at 29, or second pick, but at 29, I'm passing on it.
Yeah. Yep, I'm a pause. I love the prospect. I love the fit with the Lions. At 29, though, there are some other talented centers later in the draft. If you're going to go center, whether that's Cedric Van Pran out of Georgia, Hunter Norzad out of Penn State, Tanner Bortolini out of Wisconsin, there's good guys in the middle to late rounds at like each level of the draft. There are a couple centers you could go after, so I'm probably not reaching for him, but I wouldn't be mad. He's a stud prospect. So here's the last one before we get into our chat mock draft where you guys are making all the picks. I'm going to go with a polarizing one. Edge rusher Chop Robinson out of Penn State. Flannel, pick, pause, or pass.
You already know. Pick.
Let's go, baby!
The upside, man. The upside, the fact that his pass rushing metrics, including win rate, are much higher than he's given credit for. I don't think he's as raw as people think. I just think he had low sack numbers, but he did play on a very talented defensive line that had Adisa Isaac and Danny Dennis Sutton. So he did what he had to do. And he's also a guy who is just an athletic freak. Maybe the most freakish athlete in this entire draft when it comes to edge rushers. It's either him or Dallas Turner. I just think he's somebody that, to me, here's what Chop Robinson is. Chop Robinson is the next Trayvon Walker. And I know that me and Eduardo O'Neill agree on this. I touched on it. He's touched on it in the chat before, but I think we are in lockstep with this one. A guy who didn't put up huge sack numbers in college, but certainly was an athletic specimen and had good pass rushing metrics, but when he gets to the NFL, where a Chop Robinson will fit in best, kind of like Trayvon Walker is currently doing right now, is the second edge rusher bookend like Trayvon Walker is to Josh Allen. I could see that being Chop Robinson to Aiden Hutchinson, and I think Chop Robinson would thrive in that role, especially if he's getting one-on-ones, because we all know he will. Aiden Hutchinson and DJ Reed are on that same line. So Chop Robinson, pick.
Yeah, Chop Robinson pick, especially like we talked about earlier, KG. Terrell Williams being here and the technique he'll be able to help to kind of coach him up with. I'm actually really interested with all the other intangibles and everything else we know out of Chop Robinson. You put him on this defensive line that Sam has just stated. I believe that his potential, it could be really, really unlocked with these Detroit Lions, Terrell Williams, and that defensive line.
Yeah, and I just have to – I have to –
hit it.
It's said in the chat as well. That game, and I know that I'm biased, but a guy like Chop Robinson, he wasn't the only one. That defensive line just like destroyed Carson Barnhart. But Chop Robinson was the number one reason that Michigan had to stop throwing the football in the entire second half because guys like Chop Robinson and Adisa Isaac were just destroying the offensive line, particularly Carson Barnhart, not giving J.J. McCarthy any time to throw. They basically wrecked that game, at least wrecked Michigan's passing game. Fortunately, Penn State's quarterback is Drew Aller, and Michigan has Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum, so it worked out. But Chop Robinson impressed the hell out of me in that game.
Yeah, it's definitely a pick for me. Y'all know I'm a Chop stan, so but yeah, it's just you need that kind of speed coming off your edge, man. Like his upside is absolutely crazy, man. And he doesn't get enough love in playing the run as he should as well. So I think there's a lot of things to like about him. And like you said, when Terrell Williams can get a player like this, man, I think it only bodes well, especially in a rotation with James Houston and Marcus Davenport. That is a three-headed monster opposite of Hutch, man, that I don't think the league is quite ready for, especially on passing down. So they're definitely a pick for me.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 100% a pick for me as well, too. I mean, this Chop Robinson, the dude's an athletic freak. The man had a terrific combine, and I think, honestly, if you get him here in Detroit and pair him with all the team has already added, it's going to be amazing. And you're putting him alongside of Aiden Hutchinson as well, too, so those sack numbers are going to go up.
I'm a pause.
Fair.
Ooh, I'm a pause, and to be honest, I'm way closer to pass than pick. If Brad Holmes explained to me that the roster is complete, so we're taking a chance on a high upside player, one of the most athletic players in the draft, I can accept it. That's the only reason it's a pause. But there's something missing about the guy. There's just something. His bust potential is also high. So there's a high ceiling, but there's a really low floor. So I'm pause. If we didn't have such a complete roster, I'd say pass so fast.
I can't hate on it, man. Yeah. I can't, because I'm going to be one that if Chop Robinson, no matter where he goes, if he does flame out, I'm going to be known as the guy who believed in him. But I also think that his potential for bust is lower than most, just because, like I said, his win rate, his metrics, the fact that he's better against the run than he's given credit for. I think he'll be fine, but Broder, I can't fault you for it. There's many people who agree with you.
Yeah,
and vice versa.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that in the chat. There's a lot of people who are more comfortable with saying pass about Chop Robinson.
He's so athletic. His upside is huge. There's just something, to me, there's something missing. And I'd rather fill some other areas of need.
Fair enough.
That's definitely fair.
Yeah.
2 days away from the NFL draft, and we will be downtown at the 313 Draft Day party. We want to see you guys down there. I know Broder and then some of us are going to have boots on the ground at the NFL Experience. That starts when? 2 p.m.?
I believe so, yeah.
So, hey, we got to get into this next segment. I know that we're doing a chat-initiated, right?
Oh, yeah.
Chat-driven mock draft for the Detroit Lions. I can't wait. Who do we got to hear from first, Mr. JB?
Swiss,
okay. With the first pick in the 2024 draft, Detroit picks Swiss Insurance Group. Woodward Sports is Detroit's top pick for your insurance needs. Keep your current provider honest and price out Swiss today. Go to SwissINS.com or call Mark today at 313-530-1698.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
After an accident, people need to hire a lawyer more than any other time. So make Feiger Law your first call. 1-800-A-WINNER. That is the phone number you need to call. Their team of trial lawyers will get you the money you deserve. Feiger Law, all we do is win.
What up, though? People, welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you guys greatly for choosing to kick off your day with the Wake Up Woodward show. 2 days away. 2 days away. Man, I cannot wait. NFL draft, the 313 draft party. It's going to be epic. This is one of the biggest events that's going to be taking place in the city of Detroit, man. The entire NFL world is going to have eyes on this city. And I'm hoping that we bask in the glory a lot better than that Detroit sign, huh, JD?
It's a lot better than that damn Detroit sign.
Oh, jeez.
It's not even a big D.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's 9 o'clock.
Hey, I get the reference, right? Broder's Big Mac at 9 o'clock. I get it.
Thursday.
I get it. Hey, but listen, you have set up this chat-driven mock draft, and I'm actually pretty excited about this. Do as much as we can to be able to feature our chat family.
Yes.
Sir.
This is also Stephen Baffy inspired. I know he's been calling for this for 2 years, but this is a mock draft for 3 rounds. 'Cause for whatever reason, we can't do 7. 3 rounds where the chat is making every single pick. So we're going to simulate up to the Detroit Lions pick. We're going to select 4 players, maybe with your help in the chat, to put in a poll, and then that poll via the chat is going to decide who you guys pick. So we'll grade your mock draft at the end of this, but we want you guys to be engaged and make these picks. So help us decide on these 4, and then get your votes in the poll. JB, whenever you're ready, I say we get this party started.
All right, let's see here.
So it's like a war room. I like this.
Yeah, this is a war room. We're all talking this over together. We'll see who falls here, at 29. Wow.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Damn.
Okay,
really?
We're gonna have a lot of votes.
I think you need the top 3 right there.
Yeah. So seriously. So who's our fourth?
Wow.
So now we got to decide. We got to go Jerzon, Kool-Aid, and Jackson Powers Johnson.
Oh, come on.
This is a debate, man.
That's not even cool.
Oh.
So do we go throw a Darius or a Chop Robinson in there? Do we throw in a wide receiver? Like,
see, with JPJ being up there, I feel like that's the move between those 3.
Well, let's decide on a fourth first.
Okay.
And then we'll talk it over. We'll pick who we want, but we'll let the chat decide.
There's Newton, Kool-Aid McKinstry, JPJ.
Those are in.
Yeah.
Lad McConkey. There's a Mikey Sanders still.
I would
Zach
go
Frazier.
I would go Chop.
Yeah,
That's
Chop.
my vote's Chop.
Everybody agree with Chop?
Chop.
Yeah.
Awesome. JB, if you could create a poll that has Newton, McKinstry, JPJ, and Chop,
Yep.
I'd agree with this. So, chat, when that goes up, get your votes in. But, fellas, fellas, with these 4 on the board, what are you doing?
Oh, my God.
This is probably
tough.
as good as it gets.
Yeah, that's tough.
Do you trade? I mean,
that's a good problem.
Let's do this via you got to pick at 29 because can we all agree this is a pretty good trade back scenario?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can maybe get Carolina Panthers at 33 and still have some stud, but at 29, are you going the edge rusher with chop?
If it's not JPJ, it's got to be Kool-Aid. I feel like.
So you would go Kool-Aid over Jerzon Newton?
Yes, because I feel like we don't necessarily need interior defensive pass rush, but that can be addressed later in free agency. I would much rather get your corner right now.
With who?
You said what?
With who in free agency?
I don't know. Or I'll be looking more towards like cut day, or more towards like, training camp. They might be able to spring somebody later, but
I was poking a little bit because I don't think there's anyone as good in free agency as the upsider Jerzon.
That's fair.
That's
Flannel?
true.
I know you.
I would probably go Jackson Powers Johnson, although I did say yesterday on a Big D Energy that if Jackson Powers Johnson falls to 29, you run to the podium and take him. But I also feel that way about if a guy like Jerzon Newton, who may be a top 15 prospect in the entire NFL draft, falls to 29. So it would be a tough call between those two. I would probably take Jackson Powers Johnson just because of Kevin Zeitler being on a 1-year contract, Frank Ragnow obviously being declining health. Jackson Powers Johnson is a guy that I think could potentially someday be better than any of them. I think he's one of the most dominant interior offensive lineman prospects that I've quite frankly ever seen. So give me JPJ slightly over Jerzon Newton at 29 if I have to choose between those 4.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Cool, how you feeling?
I want to keep it consistent. I said that these kind of dream scenarios for me was somewhere between Terrion Arnold and JPJ. I got to go with JPJ. The more and more we've had this Jared Goff conversation and the fact that we know he has plans to at least be here for a long time, and from what we're hearing out of the Detroit Lions organization that there might be, obviously mutual interest to have him here long term as well, I feel like you have to do everything in your power to keep that battery between he and his offensive line as elite as possible. And to me, that kind of drives the decision-making here of being able to pick up a JPJ now and know, okay, the offensive line, we got some stuff that we can definitely reload with and try and keep this thing at least during the Super Bowl window while Jared Goff is here. Keep that thing fresh and keep it elite.
It's so funny because I agree with you 100%. Eduardo O'Neill brings up a good point, though. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. You draft Newton, Aleem might not re-sign. And it's like,
I brought that up yesterday.
That's another one of those things, though, where like Brad Holmes is going to have to start making decisions with guys that he drafted. He made the right decision when it comes to letting Jonah Jackson go and keeping Graham Glasgow and getting Zeitler. That's a good first test, but that's an interesting one as well. It's just with the offensive line, it's been the strength of this team. We'd like to keep it the strength of this team, and this team is going to go as far as the offensive line takes us. So this idea of making your strength a strength, when given those 4 options, I would still take JPJ, although Jerzon Newton it's by the slimmest of margins, JPJ over Jerzon Newton.
Yeah. Let's try to get 7 more votes in there to get 5 more to get to 100. I think the Aleem question marks are almost why you want to consider Jerzon Newton more.
Yeah,
Like, it's
sure.
insurance if he does leave. I always think he's playing next to DJ Reader. Who knows how good of a season he's going to have? Or if he gets hurt or he flops, or if DJ Reader gets hurt or stays hurt, you got Jerzon Newton there. Or DJ Reader's only on a 2-year contract. If Aleem McNeil re-signs, DJ Reader eventually, he's older, eventually he's going to move on. You got Aleem McNeil and Jerzon Newton as your DTs of the future. Like, that's compelling.
Absolutely.
Saying all that, though, I'm going JPJ.
All right.
Like what Brad Holmes said, that's their foundation of this team. That's their identity. Just keep just pumping offensive linemen, however you want to tier them. Everything you said. Frank Ragnow, Kevin Zeitler's getting up there. Graham Glasgow is your 3-year. He's got a 3-year window here with the Lions. Go JPJ. We are at 100. We actually had 105 votes.
Yeah. So was this unanimous, everybody, JPJ?
Yeah, it's JPJ.
We did, didn't we? So, there's the draft sign. With the 29th overall pick, the chat, the Wake Up Woodward chat selects with 46% of the votes. Jackson Powers Johnson, center out of Oregon. I like that pick. Pick.
Imagine
Brad Holmes is going wild right now in the draft room.
Just imagine the scene at our draft party if Jackson Powers Johnson is the pick.
Oh, yeah.
It would probably be the most excited any fan base has been over a center drafted, backup center drafted in the first round. I think the majority of Detroit Lions fans would be thrilled.
Absolutely.
Not many fan bases would.
As you should be.
Let's get this next one going. Let's get the 4 picks up before we get to our break, and then we'll come back and we'll make our selection. So
give me 1 second because I got to reload the page again. I don't know what happened.
Problem. We better not lose JPJ.
We might have lost JPJ.
We got to get that man back. So we went center, second round. I mean, not that you're forced to go defense. I mean, you still could consider a wide receiver in round 2 because, to me, after round 3, the wide receiver talent drops off dramatically. Yeah. But we went offense. Do we go defensive tackle or edge rusher? Do we try to get one of these cornerbacks, like maybe reach for Renardo Green out of Florida State or a Kyrie Jackson?
Yeah. It's got to be something on defense, corner or edge.
You think so?
Yeah.
Maybe Jonah Ellis?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It depends on how the board shakes out, because I think even at 61, there's going to be a guy that might fall that you can argue is a borderline first, early second round talent. So that's the whole nature of the draft. You got to kind of take what the board gives you. So that's why that's why this exercise is so much fun.
Yeah. And we know, like, we kind of joke on PFF occasionally, like, however the rankings go, there are guys that drop that you wouldn't expect. Like, how I'm trying to think of an example. There are just guys that always drop that you're like, there's no way they'll be there. But that's what it is actually like on draft day. Like, Brad Holmes, no one expected him to pick Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack Campbell at 12 and 18. So imagine the boards that get thrown upside down because of Brad Holmes. Like, that's just going to happen. And there are other.
Well.
What'd you say?
Look at what we got here. Yes, we were able to get JPJ back in the round. But look who is up right at the top of the picks right there. Mr. Blake Corum.
So we moved on to pick 61. We got Blake Corum up there. So the top one's available. Blake Corum, Jaden Hicks, Jonah Ellis, Braswell.
Chris Braswell.
I'm not putting Blake Corum on this list.
Agreed.
I personally would like to put
Adrian Cooper.
Maybe. I want to put Jonah Ellis on the list.
Yep, Jonah Ellis is on. I would.
Marshawn Nealon need to be on there.
Is Marshawn Nealon on there?
Yeah.
He's still available.
Yeah. You got to put him up there.
We don't need to do Christian Haynes since we just took an offensive lineman.
Right. Can you go down a little bit, JB,
I got
please?
Andrew Phillips is a guy they brought in out of Kentucky, cornerback out of Kentucky.
Yeah.
They brought him in for a top 30 visit. I think, is it Ruke Aurora, like right below?
Aurora.
I may consider him as a defensive tackle here. Malachi Corley's a wide receiver to throw on there possibly. Man, scroll down just a little bit more. Keep going.
Junior Colston is on here.
This is so tough.
There's Tez Walker, wide receiver out of North Carolina. Baker, Johnny Wilson. Keep going a little bit farther. I know we got 73, but
Spencer Rattler. What?
Yeah.
Hey, Spencer Rattler's being talked about a lot recently.
Like a lot.
Really? Kyrie Jackson.
Yeah. That's a.
I'm seeing
Malik Washington.
You say Cooper? Okay, I'm seeing a lot of Adrian Cooper.
Yeah.
I'm seeing
Cooper
Andrew
BB.
Phillips,
You might be
Marshawn
able to get
Nealon.
Cooper in the third, but you don't necessarily need him. We got JPJ.
Do you want to double up on an edge, go Ellis and Nealand, or pick one of those and go Malachi Corley, wide receiver?
I think Ellis and Nealand are better edge rusher prospects than Mel. I want to do that. Me personally, I would do that.
So how about Ellis, Nealand, Ruke, and Andrew Phillips, cornerback out of Kentucky?
Okay.
How's that look?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Fine.
All right, chat. We're going to get that put up on a poll during the break. Get your votes in. We're going to come back. We're going to discuss, and we're going to make that pick.
Okay, so it was Ellis, Nealand, Phillips, and what was the last one?
Aruke Aurora. Aurora. Like a lion roar.
Gotcha.
Aurora roar.
Okay.
So you'll throw those up. Let's go to break.
Hell of a name.
And we'll come back. We'll finish up these last two picks because we got 2 or 3 mock drafts to show you guys from the chat.
Ooh.
Oh, there we go. At pick 61. Ellis, Nealand, Phillips, Ruke. All right. Take us to break, boys.
Hey, what do we got? Also,
we have Feldman.
Oh, Feldman. Let's go.
All right. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest you. Catch Woodward Sports Network live from Feldman Chevrolet of Novi every other Monday.
What's good, man? How you doing? What you got for me today? Let's have a look, man. I see the one I want right there. That's the one I'm looking for.
Welcome to the winner's circle, Blake.
Hey.
Feiger Law. All we do is win.
All we do is win. Congratulations to the real coach of the year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Woodward Sports has all your Detroit sports coverage all day long. You guys already know, kicking it off every day, 8 to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday with the Woo Crew. That's your Wake Up Woodward show with JB, with KG, with Broder, with Flannel, with myself, Kool-Aid. And then after that, from 11 to 1, you got Big D Energy. You got 4-time Stanley Cup champion winner and Guardian of Detroit, Mr. Darren McCarty, hosting alongside the golden voice, Mr. Neil Rule. After that, you got Armani and Edwards. That's Braylon Edwards, University of Michigan, wide receiver. Great all-time wide receiver, NFL wide receiver as well. And Ryan Armani, he's probably one of the kings of this Detroit media game, and the lovable Maz and the Maz chair and the scenery behind him. You got to tap in every day, 2 to 4. And then you end the day with the big fellas. It is the heavyweights. That is Mr. Easy, Mr. Spinmo, Rack Spencer. And they show, man, from the guests to the fun that they have, is something that you got to end your day off with, right? But thank you guys for making Woodward Sports your #1 digital sports network. Appreciate you all.
They had an awesome interview with Joey Harrington yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they really did.
Joey Harrington brings the heat when he's on. His interviews are really good. Really good.
I like it, man. What up, though, people? Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. And this is a great segment. I'm glad that Broder helped to kind of get this thing organized. But it's our chat-driven mock drafts. And you said right now we got a pick to make, don't we?
We do. I try to get 14 more votes in to get to 100. At the moment, we're standing after taking Jackson Powers Johnson at pick 29 in the first round. We got Marshawn Nealand leading the way. A big gap right now, 56% of the votes. We got Jonah Ellis, edge rusher out of Utah with 29%. Andrew Phillips, cornerback out of Kentucky with 8%. And Ruke, 7% of the votes at 61. So try to get a few more votes in. Where are you guys leaning? I'm leaning toward Jonah Ellis. Marshawn Nealand doesn't do it for me. I like him. I like him as a 3rd or a 4th rounder maybe, which he won't last till. but I don't know about taking him at 61.
But Jonah Ellis is still a little bit raw, don't you think?
He is, but he's got that DNA. He's not as athletic, but I think he's actually a little bit more mature and developed in his pass rushing, like his pass rushing bag. He has the motor. He might not be as strong as Marshawn Nealon, but like he knows what he's doing. And he's got a dad who used to play for the Lions, teamed up with Robert Porcher back in the day, Luther Ellis and Robert Porcher. I like NFL DNA in the family. Like I actually do think that means something, even as just a little bit of an edge, pun intended, to put them over the top over another prospect.
Yeah.
Do you believe that Ellis has a little bit more motor than Nealon?
I don't know about that. It's hard to compare motors. They both are high motor guys. I think that's part of what makes Marshawn Nealon as good as he is. I'm just more of a fan of Ellis. That spin move he's got, man. Woo!
Yeah. Hey, we got over 100 votes, so we can save my commentary for afterwards if we want to tabulate it.
With the 61st pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Woodward Sports Wake Up Woodward chat selects Marshawn Nealon.
Easy pick.
Edge rusher out of Western Michigan.
You know
Easy
what?
pick.
You know what,
Flannel.
KG? I'm so glad that you said that because I'm about to highlight something which I feel like is a little inconsistency within the people. Not with you, KG.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because
let it fly.
Talk your shit.
Here's the thing, and I get it, being the 61st overall pick and be the 29th overall pick is a completely different thing. When we even mention Chop Robinson at 29, all you ever hear about is like, oh my God, he didn't get any sacks in college at Penn State. He didn't do anything. He's raw. He's going to be a bust. But when it comes to Marshawn Nealon at 61, it's just like, they're the same guy. They're both highly athletic guys who have a high motor, who obviously like have a lot of athleticism and speed and all of that, and do get to the quarterback, but they don't have high sack numbers. And Marshawn Nealon, with all due respect, did it at Western Michigan. And for the record, I like Marshawn Nealon as a prospect. My choice would be Jonah Ellis like you. It's just why the Chop hate, but like the Marshawn Nealon,
Good
just
point.
like, oh my God, Marshawn Nealon. He got over 50%. Over 50. And you guys just hate Chop. 3 out of every 4 Chop comments are hate comments.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good point.
But like,
That's
but
big
you know,
facts.
notice how I said you like them both.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, consistency, baby. I do like what we're built like. To go Jackson Powers Johnson and that Marshawn Nealon, not bad, chat. Not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
I'm not giving you a grade yet, but it's up there. It's up there. So let's see who is falling to the Lions at 73. We got to decide these last 4.
This one gonna be tough.
Last 4. This is gonna be tough. I know there's gonna be some good guys
We got
on
some
the
good
board.
picks on this one.
Pardon?
We got some good picks on this one.
We got Ruke still available.
Oh.
Yes, he is still available.
Well, he's going on the
Malachi.
list.
Yeah.
We probably want to look for a cornerback.
Yeah.
Throw him on there, even if he doesn't get
Is
picked.
Kyrie Jackson still available?
Yeah. Can you
That-
filter to corner?
Probably not. He
Are you able to do that for us? Because we know we want one of those at least on the 4, right?
Kyrie
Oh, he
Jackson
is still there.
available.
He's got to be in there.
Maybe both of those. Do we put
Renardo
both
Green?
Kyrie and Renardo Green?
I think so.
You can.
What do you think, Flannel?
What
What other position should we want?
What the
Center?
receivers look like?
We went
Receivers?
edge. We have a defensive tackle. Good call. What receivers do we got?
Malachi Conley, Devontae Walker.
See, I'm a Corley fan. A lot of people like Tez Walker.
Brendan Rice is still there.
Brendan Rice is still there. I think 73 is a little early.
Yeah.
Do any of those guys
McCaffrey.
worth it to you to put up there at 73?
If you want to put Corley up there, we can make that your pick. I don't
Maybe.
I like Jalen McMillan the best out of all of them, but I also am not going to die on that hill. So if it's Corley,
Yeah.
we can put him into the. So what do we have now? We've got Ruke, we've got Kyrie Jackson, and we have
Renardo Green.
We have Renardo Green.
What
and
about safety? Could you put safety up there?
Yep.
we got?
One sec.
There were some decent safeties later in the draft. But I want to see because like Bullock was rated pretty high. Cameron Kitchens, people like Shoney Vaki. This might be a little early.
Yeah, it's a little high for Vaki.
I may go Malachi Corley if we're up to me. I'm a little higher on just wide receivers in the first couple picks than most.
I think Kyrie Jackson is the pick, but that's just me.
And Mean Gun, I would. Christian Haynes is totally a Lions pick. I think with Jackson Powers Johnson in round 1,
Yeah,
we
it's
might
no
not
point.
want to go guard here. But unless you guys might be able to convince me otherwise. Z Digital says Vaki. JZJ says Tez.
With the Lions. Braylon Allen is going to be someone we wish we drafted. Chase Amley, that's not a bad...
Chase Amley loves someone as much as Chase Amley loves Braylon Allen.
Do we put Haynes up? There are Hayneses. Do we put him up there? Maybe people want to go 2 offensive linemen. Or no?
I don't know. I think, what would we got? Kyrie, Renardo Green,
Corley.
Ruke, Malachi Corley. I think that's a pretty solid 4.
Let's do that. Okay. All right, JB, you ready for me to read those off?
Yep, so I got Ruke, Kyrie Jackson, Ronaldo Green, and what was our fourth?
And Malachi Corley.
Malachi, was he
wide
a
receiver?
Oh, wide receiver. Okay, got you.
Ronaldo
All right, chat.
Green, not bad either.
So we got defensive tackle Ruke Rororo out of Clemson. We got cornerback Kyrie Jackson, big 6'3" corner out of Oregon. We got Renardo Green, who I think is one of the best man cover, press man corners in the draft out of Florida State. And then we got wide receiver Malachi Corley. Some compare to Deebo Samuel, Amon-Ra St. Brown like. He's not a tall wide receiver, but I believe he led the NCAA in yards after catch, or at least was up there. He's a yards after catch machine. Played with Broderick Martin at Western Kentucky. So the level of play maybe isn't what some of the other receivers are, but man, he's a beast. He's a gamer.
Yeah.
He's a gamer. So let's get your votes in. I say we take our 9:30 break here. We come back, make our selection, grade this pick, grade Dante 151's mock draft, grade Eduardo O'Neal's mock draft, and then we get to what's trending with JB Smooth. How's that sound?
Sound like a plan.
Fellas?
Yeah, let's rock.
All right, guys, while we're on break, get your votes in. Ruke, Kyrie, Renardo Green, Malachi Corley. We will see you when we get back. Sam, Kool-Aid, take us to break.
Let's go.
Shake Shack.
Absolutely. Hey. When it comes to chicken sandwiches, I have got the sleeper. It's the Shake Shack Chicken Shack sandwich. Try the Chicken Shack sandwich for free with a $10 purchase. Grab a shake and a crispy crinkle fry, and your Chicken Shack will be free. Just use the code word Woodward in person, online, or download the Shake Shack app today. Promotion available in all 7 Michigan Metro Detroit locations and ends May 1st.
The BGCSM 3C Sports Conference is coming during NFL Draft Week, starting on April 24th. Special guests will include Jerome Bettis, Barry Sanders, Eddie George, Aleem McNeil, Calvin Johnson Jr., Sean H. Wilson, Cynthia Freeland, Adam Scheffner, and more. This event is open to athletes, coaches, and parents, but space is limited. So go to our website and purchase your tickets today at www.bgcsm.org.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody!
Visit Dispo Dispensary today for deals too good to miss. Meet a team that curates an unbelievable atmosphere and shopping experience. Try the freshest inventory for Michigan's largest variety of products. Come through our stores or order on Dispo Dash today. Dispo Dispensary, DispoShops.com, your local cannabis plug.
What up, though, people? Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward, and we have our chat-driven mock drafts today. And I believe that this draft has started off pretty good. If the Lions wake up Thursday, get to the draft, and this is how the draft board falls for them, how are you feeling, Sam?
I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling like we got JPJ so far. We've got Marshawn Nealand. I'm happy. You solidified a couple of trench positions, and I like it. Big fan.
Love
Big
it.
fan.
I love it. I love it. So
Now attacking those trenches, are you staying in the trenches, Flannel, or are you going a player on the outside, whether that's cornerback or wide receiver?
Well.
Because right now, 81 votes are in, Flannel.
All right.
52% are Kyrie Jackson, 26 are Renardo Green, then Ruke at 14% and Malachi Corley at 9. So they're thinking cornerback, but that doesn't mean you have to.
No, I am thinking corner. And honestly, it was a tough one. I'm kind of with KG, you mentioned this on break. Kyrie Jackson, Renardo Green, it's really, really close. I would take Renardo Green because one-on-one in man, mano-a-mano, he can shut you down. Does he struggle in some aspects like run defense and zone? Sure. Did he give up some plays? Sure. But when you're a college corner and you're projecting to the NFL, can you guard or at least bother NFL wide receivers? I believe if you've excelled a ton at man coverage at the collegiate level, especially at a school like Florida State, I think you will project better to the NFL than, say, a guy who's better at zone. Obviously, there's variance when it comes to athleticism and all that, but especially in this round where most prospects are somewhat unequal playing field, to me, being just that man coverage demon is the tiebreaker. So give me Renardo Green.
KG, I'm sorry, Kool-Aid. I'm going right to KG because I think he might have a similar but opposite take.
Yeah, actually, I think y'all swaying me, man. I might be on the Renardo Green bandwagon now. He is a better man coverage fit. I think you got to go Renardo, but absolutely it has to be a corner with this pick. That's just how I sit.
And Kyrie Jackson as a taller cornerback, how do you guys feel like if he was in that kind of the same position they played Cam Sutton last year? I feel like his height and obviously his reach should play some type of role, at least making it a little bit more difficult. Some of those passes last year just seemed like they were just over the outstretched arms of Cam Sutton. If you put a little bit taller wide receiver back there, do you think that plays a little bit better role for what the Lions' defense is?
I mean, I wouldn't be mad at Kyrie Jackson in any way, shape, or form. He had a hell of a year. He is kind of a scheme versatile guy. Like you said, a taller corner. I don't think it's fair to ask someone as a rookie, and I'm not saying you're saying that, to be Cam Sutton.
Right.
But could he project to be somebody like that? Sure. I don't know if any of these corners that you'd be getting in this round would be, I would say, day one starters. However, I would like for who you get in this draft, even though it's the third round, to be maybe capable of that, unless some things go awry in the secondary room, which there's definitely risks with everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. Every corner that the Lions have, there are some risk factors.
Yeah.
So somebody that is capable of starting soon, and that's why I lean towards the man coverage prowess of a Renardo Green. So, yeah, that's kind of my thought process. You don't have to start right away, but if you have that capability at some point during the season, I would like that.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm going Renardo Green. I get Kyrie Jackson. I actually just double-checked. He's 6'4", so that is really tall.
Yeah.
And so if you want a tall cornerback just because you want a tall cornerback, go get him. And he is a good athlete. But I want that man cover corner, that guy who has that potential to lock somebody up. He's still 6 foot. Like, he's not a smaller
he's not
cornerback.
small.
Like he's 6 foot 190, I believe. That's fine with me. I'm going Renardo, but it looks like the chat's leaning towards Kyrie Jackson.
Fair.
Malachi Corley, I wouldn't be angry at any of these 4 picks. You decide to add to that defensive line with Ruke, or add just another weapon. Ben Johnson can cook up who knows what with Malachi Corley and Amon-Ra and Gibbs and Khalif Raymond and DPJ and Jamison Williams, Sam Laporta. Bro, that offense. I need to see one more vote. There we go. So we get to 100. Let's make our pick, KG. When you're ready? With the 73rd overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Woodward Sports Wake Up Woodward chat selects Kyrie Jackson, cornerback out of Oregon.
Bo Booth said green isn't small, but bigger is better.
Fair. And Bo Booth said all things being equal, he wants the bigger, the taller cornerback. So, hey, I can't argue with that. Yeah. I'd prefer the more skilled guy. Luckily, he's not 5'8". Yeah. I'd prefer Mikey Sandersell over all of them.
Of course you would.
Of course I would.
At pick 29, you would.
But I would actually, if we're going drafting a cornerback to play man coverage, I would go Renardo Green over Mikey Sandersell. Like, he's that much better. Yeah. Mikey's just a better football player.
Mikey is maybe the football player.
He might be the.
However, and I know we're not breaking down Mikey Sanders still at this point, but
we need a few more hours for that.
Yeah, my concerns with him are more based on, him not really being an outside guy and him not really being what you would call a coverage technician as much as he is just an all-around demon, playmaker, ball hawk, hit stick guy. Nobody's got more reaction speed than old Mikey Sanders still. And like I said, I love that man like I love a family member for what he did for this team, for this Michigan team last year. So a shout out Mikey Sanders still. So even for just those reasons and his prowess as a football player, I wouldn't even be mad if the Lions drafted him, even though it's maybe an imperfect fit.
And as a reminder, Mikey is spelled Mike.
Yes.
M-I-K-E is Mikey. Just like Nike is N-I-K-E. Mikey, Nike. Mike, Nike. Actually, don't even think Mike. Mikey is his name. That's on his birth certificate. M-I-K-E, Mikey.
Well, that's one of the clues to that is when you look him up, there's no Michael. It's just Mike or M-I-K-E. So, and he was born in Haiti as well. A lot of people don't know that, but that might play a role in the fact that he is Mikey, like M-I-K-E, like you said, just like Nike. Learn something new every day.
How about it? So, JB, could you throw up that those 3 picks that our chat had drafted? We'll see what PFF grades them, and then we'll give them our final grade.
My bad, I actually closed it out, but I did see the final grade. We got a B-.
All good. Right. They give you a B-?
Yeah.
So it was JPJ at 29. It was Marshawn Nealon at 61, and it was Kyrie Jackson at 73.
So it was A, C, and C
at all.
See, I think Kyrie Jackson, at least in terms of this list, might be seen as a reach. I don't think it necessarily is, but when you're the Lions, when you don't have those picks in the 4th round and you need a corner at that point, the PFF grading of this is an imperfect system. I would take that draft any day of the week.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a B.
Fair.
Solid B.
Fair.
And I made my points. I would have rather gone Jonah Ellis than Marshawn Nealon. I would have rather gone Renardo Green than Kyrie Jackson. But I don't hate the positions. I don't hate the upside of those guys. Like, I wouldn't be mad with that draft, but I give it a B.
That's solid.
Chat, how do you grade yourself? Get your questions in. We'll take a break, and then we'll come back and we'll do What's Trending with JB Smooth and finish off the 2 mock drafts that we have to show you today. Unless we have more time. If we got, I'm not sure where we are on the reads, but it's up to you guys.
We only have 3 more reads, so it's up to you guys.
All right, let's take our break. We'll come back and we'll crank through the rest.
So you want to double up here?
Yeah, we can run through.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Here, why don't you talk about Guardian first, and then
Guardian Alarm. Hey, Guardian Alarm. And we went, 2 defensive players?
Yep.
The chat family went 2 defensive players?
Yep.
Hey, you know what else you can go to get some good defense? That is Guardian Alarm. They offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. It is 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian Alarm team member will stay on the phone with you as long as needed. It is technology backed by people. Your safety and security, it deserves technology that's been proven to work and people have been proven to care. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT. Once again, that number is 1-800-STAY out.
And let me tell you about Soroki's Nashville Hot Chicken, because it is back. They got locations popping up all over Metro Detroit, doubling the number of restaurants this year. Known for their quality hand-battered and hand-breaded chicken tenders, chicken sandwiches, and the New York style pizza as well too. Be sure to stop in and try at a mega station near you.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
What's good, man? How you doing? What you got for me today? Let's have a look, man. I see the one I want right there. That's the one I'm looking for.
Welcome to the winner's circle, Blake.
Hey.
Figer Law. All we do is win.
All we do is win.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. The same great service that customers have come to know and trust on Woodward Avenue just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Let's drive right down Woodward Avenue. You know what else is going to be on Woodward Avenue? The 313 Draft Party. We want to see you guys downtown. We cannot wait. Just 2 days away until the NFL Draft in the city that is Detroit. It's going to be electric. We want to see you guys down there, chat family. As always, you're a very important part of this show. Go ahead and smash that like button. Once you've done that, encourage somebody else to do the same. And you know what? The early results here on this poll. Okay, a chat-driven mock draft. I just have to say this. Which they made all the picks, right? You would think they would give themselves an A.
An A, yeah.
But right now, 73% B.
Well, I mean, we gave them a parameters to choose from, but I mean, let's say the first round, who else were we gonna make it be between? So yeah, I am surprised, but you know what? The fact that the chat is a little bit humble and not braggadocious, I like that. I like that.
Hey, Shad said, how's our mock draft a 70% B when we literally mocked it ourselves?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Not everyone agreed with the. That's why it was a vote. Like it was, although it was pretty overwhelming. Kyrie Jackson and Marshawn Nealon.
Yeah.
So you'd think there are a lot of people, but hey, it's still climbing.
Hey, we're gonna see how this thing shakes out. But first, we gotta get to the most electrifying segment in sports entertainment. If you smell what JBSMOOOOOV is cooking with what's trending.
Jay Bizzle.
Let's ride.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Let's go.
What's up, JB?
What's going on? Hey, look, I'll try to get through these videos and things quick so we can get to our sent-in mock drafts that we have, because I know we have a few of them out there we want to get to, but I got to show you guys this because I think I found my new jersey that I am going to buy this NFL season.
Okay.
No,
the MILF Hunter.
Okay.
Bro, what do you guys think of those jerseys? Actually, if you were going to ask us that, JB, sorry to steal.
I was going to ask, what do you guys think of these new Bronco jerseys? But also, shout out Zach Wilson got traded to the Denver Broncos. So, MILF Hunter in Denver, everybody. How we feeling about that?
Man.
Well, when Zach Wilson, trading for Zach Wilson was the second dumbest thing you did yesterday.
Yeah.
These jerseys must really suck. I don't
mind the jerseys, actually.
They're like Chargers / UTEP. You know, University of Texas El Paso.
I was gonna say they just remind me of another team, but it has Broncos across the front.
Yeah,
with their colors.
Like the Broncos throwbacks, which I think they also revealed or also brought back. I love those. Those like orange cream ones, the John Elways. Love that. These are trash to me.
I don't know. I'm
garbage.
stuck somewhere between Chargers and Bears for some reason when I look at this.
They do look like Bears.
Yeah, they kind of do.
UTEP.
They're clean.
Definitely UTEP.
I can't lie, like they're clean, but I'm just getting like other team vibes when I look at it.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Broder on this one. Maybe not as, I don't maybe hate them as much, but I like those old orange crush Bronco uniforms. Reminds me of those like 80s John Elway and all of that. So yeah, there just isn't a lot of character with these new ones. Just kind of generic.
Yeah, they're kind of basic a little bit. So that was just, my first thought of a jersey I would buy this season. But I got to show you guys this. Can someone please get John Wick out of this game?
No way.
He killing Time Crisis. Going crazy on time crisis.
On 2 screens though, like come on now.
Yeah, he wild.
He's strapped up. Does he have a pencil? Doesn't he kill people with pencils? Or unalive people?
It hurts you like what?
He having too much fun. Imagine being the girlfriend of this guy.
This is exactly the guy that be at like Dave and Buster's. My kids are like waiting forever to play a game.
Trying to
like
get on the
John
game,
Wick
bro.
guy.
I didn't even realize it was on loop. I thought this was continuous.
No, it was continuous.
It was continuous, probably for a couple hours.
Oh yeah, he getting no play.
That is ridiculous.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Tell me you single for life without telling me.
Side Gray said John Wick or Charlie Chaplin.
I don't even
Charlie
know.
Chaplin.
Anchorman Jr. It does look like the other Anchorman guy. Not Brick, but Santana.
I can't remember the name.
I can't remember their names.
I know
really
what you're
can't.
talking about though.
Why is he curtsying is what I want to know.
Point.
That's fair.
It's
Why?
a little head bob? Like,
Right.
bro, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Like, have some dignity.
That
Have
is-
some dignity.
Yeah. That
Goodness
is
gracious.
fair. Why are you cursing, bro? I don't understand this. And finally, this video, I've never seen this happen before in my life.
Grant with the bucket. Here goes Kyrie.
Oh! Damn it! Oh, somebody go get him off the floor.
Bro, then he kicked out as if like, yo, let me flop at the end. Maybe I'll get a
He
foul.
tripped over his own feet.
I've never seen this happen before in my life.
I mean, he wasn't gonna reach the rim anyway. He
But
was,
still,
he was acting
like,
like he was finna raise up. Like,
Yeah, he looked like he was about to, yo,
He
NBA
had a
dunk
chance,
contest,
you
come
know.
and get me.
I think this was a fail either way it went. This is probably the best case scenario.
I say, you
If
think
he
made a-
if
he
he
made a
get in the
business
air,
decision.
right? If he get in the air, I don't think it's gonna end well.
He had a chance, though.
He was too far under the rim to be trying to raise up
see that?
anyway. Like, you dunking on the out of bounds line. Like, what are you
He
doing?
was already in the restricted area and
Right.
trying to jump for a breakaway dunk,
Like,
bro,
come
for a
on,
takeoff.
Honestly, if he wants to transition to be a wide receiver, those are some pretty impressive toe taps. Like to catch the ball at the sideline.
Come get
Like
your
that's
son,
exactly
man.
how Antoine Randall would teach it.
Oh, yeah?
Like perfect. 2 feet. Just drag the toes in.
Play that one more time. Now I want to see if he got the toe drag going.
Oh, double. He got 2. He went NFL.
He
Hey,
definitely got
listen,
2.
Nate Burleson will be proud.
Yeah,
The toe
check
drag
this
swag.
out.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah, he got
Ooh,
the toe
that
drag.
hardwood do
You know
not feel
what?
good. Somebody come get your son.
The football coach is somewhere in the stadium like, you know what? We could use that toe drag
Oh,
swag.
he broke his own ankles. That's
Dan Campbell guy.
That's fucking nuts.
That's a Dan Campbell guy for sure.
Broke his own
KG is
ankles.
done with him.
Is there?
That's that kid that's been waiting to get in the game for like the last year and a half, and he finally get his shot, and this is what he do. Like,
He grows up to be John Wick guy.
Just lay the ball in the basket, young man. That's all you gotta do.
shit.
That's all you gotta do.
What happened to the good old finger roll? What happened to that?
What happened to that? But that's it for what's trending, you guys.
Damn. Come get your son, man.
Yo, goodness, come get your son. Goodness gracious, I don't even know what I would do if that was Kid Kool-Aid. It's like, do you stand there like, son, or do you just kind of be like, man, feel bad for that kid?
That
You're
kid,
not even,
yeah,
you're not even gonna claim him as your own. That's messed up.
He probably got the dad off Friday Night Lights. He probably taping the ball to his head.
Kool-Aid takes off his hat. Is like, I'm not related to him. Like,
Can't hang on to the lamp. Can't hang on to the football. I can hang on to the football, Dad. Now get the hell out of here.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's a good one.
Great movie.
That's a
man.
good movie.
So good.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious. Hey,
well
look,
done.
well done, JB. Man, what's
Oh,
trending? The
shit.
segments are always fire on Wake Up Woodward. Man, the crew does an amazing job. Good job all the way around. The chat-driven mock draft, that was pretty good. I feel like we might need to do that again before the draft.
I think so.
Oh, definitely.
Maybe 2 more times.
See if we can get this thing up to a B or a A.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's
I
try
also
that.
wondering, like, because we had A, B, C, or D, I wonder, there was no A- or B+ option. Like, people might thought it was closer to a B than an A. Maybe it was an A- or a B+. But no, that was fun.
Yeah,
That was fun,
yeah.
especially seeing that I would have picked other players. We all had a little different opinion, so it was cool. Great idea, Stephen Baffy. You are the man. We got 2 other mock drafts to react to, but we're going to do that in tandem with mailbag because I see some great questions in here. But, JB, if you could throw up Dante 151s. This was a mock draft he sent to me yesterday. And, again, keep putting your mailbag questions in while we react to this. Dante, with a big trade, a move up in that first round to go get his cornerback. You Terrion Arnold fans, this is the one. So he goes up to get pick 14. He gives up 29. An early third rounder, 73, 201, and a third rounder next year.
Damn.
That's a haul.
Yeah, damn.
I already see KG smiling in approval just because that kicker at the bottom.
Definitely. He gave up a lot for Terrion, man. I thought it was just going to be the first and the third, but he gave up a lot more capital than I was expecting. But great pick either way, though.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I mean, I like the player. I like even to move up. I think that's too much to give up.
That's a lot of capital.
But at the same time, they don't need 7 picks in this draft. You know, like you can only have. There are only so many roster spots. So if you decide, and I don't know if a cornerback, as much as I love Terrion, I don't know if a cornerback's a position to do this. But if you decide you got to go up and get your guy and you sacrifice some capital. If Brad does that, I don't have a problem.
You know what? The chat likes it right now, man. Stephen Davis said A+, Dante Gromit. This draft is an A. Vincent E, a solid B. Cornelius T, just wow. And A is 411, a B.
I'll tell you what. It's gave up a lot. It's not perfect, but I'm looking at the first 3 picks and I'm seeing maybe not this year, but the year after, you could be looking at possibly even cornerstone pieces. I mean, Zach Zinter, he's falling. He's maybe not as good of a prospect as my love for him as a player being biased, but certainly maybe take over if Kevin Zeitler doesn't resign. Nealand and Arnold, those are guys that could be impact players year 1, and certainly maybe even starters within the next couple of years. So given the fact that the Lions have a pretty complete roster in terms of their starters, I don't hate this one at all.
Yeah, I'm seeing A+ Dante from Stephen David, A from Gromit, solid B from Vincent Ellison. KG is hard for a kicker. Rando Smalls too much. Doug Durkee B-. I don't like the third round next year. That's B. Tearing out 14. Mitchell at 12. Bo Booth says. I like it. B+ average. A Diz. B maybe. RJ Graham. All right, mixed emotions, baby. I'm gonna give it a B. B.
Give it a solid B.
Yeah, just a solid B. Ed, for the moment, I'm going to hang on to your mock draft. Maybe we do it at the end of this, or maybe we show it again tomorrow. But we got some great mailbag questions in here. First, I got to shout out Devin Brines from the beginning of the show, a $2 donation. And I'm going to direct this at Flannel. He says, what do you guys think of Fedorov for Wings coach?
It seems like, I wouldn't hate it at all. It seems like maybe a little bit of a pipe dream, but you all know how I feel about Lalonde and how his seat is warm. I'll just say that. Yeah. So if you're going to bring Sergey back, put his 91 in the rafters, make him head coach, I think that would be just a slam dunk amongst the fans. As far as being a hockey coach goes, I can't really speak on that too much because he's been like an overseas guy. So but given the fact that I'm not a huge Lalonde guy right now, don't mind it at all.
There we go. KG.
What?
Mailbag.
Yeah.
Would you smile more for the Lions signing Jake Bates or drafting a kicker in the draft? This is via Stephen David, by the way. Sorry.
I may give a smirk. So I'll give you a casual smirk, but I'm absolutely on board with a kicker being added to this team. So
back up to the desk, and JBKG, feel free to get in on this if you want. From John Effin Lord, mailbag. Will the Nuggets sweep the Lakers in 4?
It seems that way.
More than likely
it seems that way.
Yeah.
Sorry,
the Lakers are just not a good matchup for the Nuggets. Just point blank, period. They are not. So
I'll tell you what, and again, we all have our team Bs, our players that we like. You know how I feel about LeBron and AD. I love them both. They're 2 of my favorite players.
But there's nothing else after that.
Last night broke me into pieces. I came in here in shambles because I now am seeing the writing on the walls that, yes, it is going to be a sweep. You can't. That was just as demoralizing as a loss as I can remember. It was just Just awful. And yeah, Nuggets are going to sweep the Lakers. 100%. 100%.
But it looks like it was really tough for you to admit.
Yeah. But, I mean, I always had the Nuggets winning this series. For people who think that I'm like a Jokic hater or something like that, that's just Neil Rule propaganda. Jokic is the best in the game right now by far. I just thought that the Lakers at the beginning of the series could maybe take it to 6 or 7 and maybe even pull off the ultimate upset.
Lies.
But no, it's not going to happen. And Darvin Ham's a buffoon, by the way.
Damn.
Darvin the coach, right? Not Darvin the 04.
I'm not talking about Duncan Darvin. I'm talking about Darvin the head coach.
Yeah.
A Mike J mailbag. Are we shouting, chanting Jared Goff during the Bears drafting of Caleb Williams?
Why not?
I would love
overall.
it.
Sure, why not?
Sure.
Why not?
Hey,
That would be epic.
that would be. Hey, you're gonna be in the building. You got to get this done.
It's either Jared Goff or Decker reported. Jared Goff has a lot less syllables, so that might work better.
Yeah.
But there has to be some reporting, some
Whole
chest
bunch of
swipe
swipes.
with Roger Goodell up there.
Dan Skipper.
Yeah. How about this mailbag from Eduardo O'Neill? True or false? And this is actually related to our first round pick in the chat mock draft. True or false? It is much easier to find a top tier offensive lineman in the second round or later than in the first, opposed to defensive tackle. So the defensive tackle talent at the top of the draft to second or beyond is much stronger. Offensive line, you can find a top tier offensive line rounds 2 and beyond.
You can.
In the second round, you could maybe look towards like Braden Fisk or Chris Jenkins. I mean, I get it though. I think Cooper Beebe in a later round would be an absolute steal. But yeah, there's Chris Jenkins, there's Braden Fisk, there's a Ruke, there's a couple of guys like that. But I get what you're saying, Eduardo, but I think it's a little bit more even than maybe you're giving it credit for.
All right. Last one.
Let's rock.
From Dante151. By the way, shout out for the $5 donation earlier. I don't have the exact words you wrote, Dante, but I remember the question, or I remember how you phrased it. Actually, I don't. But it was about the umpires and what they should do about the umpires in Major League Baseball, the Angel Hernandezes of the world. As it relates to, did you see Aaron Boone yesterday? Gets the manager for the Yankees gets thrown out of the game. He was getting into it with the umpire, went and sat back down or stood up at the edge of the dugout, and the umpire said, "Say one more word, I'm tossing you." He went back to the dugout, was quiet. A fan right behind the dugout yelled something, and the umpire immediately tossed him.
Oh, wow.
And Aaron Boone was like, "Well, I didn't even say anything."
Right.
I didn't even say anything. So I guess what question should I pull out of this?
Robot umps.
Yeah, should they go robot umps?
Robot
and I'm going to answer
umps,
first. I'm going to say
please.
fat no. But I'll pose it to you. Robot umps, boys.
They can do it like they do it in AAA. Don't they still have an umpire, but they use the robot for balls and strikes, and then they just go off of that?
See, that's the part I hate.
Really?
Yeah. To me, pitching, that's part of it. You don't want them to be you don't want them to be Angel Hernandez and just be trash. But as a pitcher, like in the first inning, the first 2 innings, like learning the type of zone that an umpire has, whether they're calling the low strikes, calling the high strikes, giving you an extra inch or two on the outside or inside of the plate. I look at pitchers and I think of pitchers like the best ones are able to make those adjustments, able to play to their advantages. We saw Flaherty did it early, his first game against the White Sox. Like that umpire was calling him like 2 inches below the plate, which may be a little too much, but I think that's all part of the game. There should be replays, like how the USTA, how Wimbledon, how professional tennis can have such quick, perfect readings of balls on the line or not. Like for foul balls, for ties at the plate, like there should be a way to get a replay in 10 seconds. Come on, technology. If you're going to do balls and strikes, you can do that.
And with as many eyes and cameras on the game, you would think that there's some type of safeguard against it. If you're going to toss somebody, know that that guy actually said something. It seems like referees just in general across the whole spectrum of sports have continued to find themselves in a position where the game is somewhat about them as well. They might not make the whole entire game about themselves, but it seems like they're injecting their emotions a little bit too much for me. You want them to kind of have some showmanship, but when you start to actually control things on the field that shouldn't be, that to me is where it's just like, it's too much. It's too much.
Yeah, Broder, you actually brought up a great point because in theory, you know, the robot umpires, you get every single call 100% right. But I'm a purist, man. I want human. I want
tradition.
I want the human element. I wish that there was never the pitch clock, although I'm getting used to it. I wish there was never the ghost man on second in extra innings. Give me old-fashioned baseball any day of the week. Yes, am I an old man? 100%. I'm a 55-year-old trapped in a 32-year-old man's body. I don't care. Give me pure baseball.
Nate Edgington and Big Con bring up a good point. Jake Rogers framing. Like Big Con 51 catchers framing pitches is a skill too. It is 100% a skill. I've had catchers who have been great, catchers who have been horrible, catchers who are your captain of the team, of the defense. I don't want that to go away.
I don't think it will. Like I said, in AAA, they still use a ump, but just for the questionable calls, they go to the robot, I believe. So
yeah, see, that's.
But I'm not for taking the ump completely out the game, though. But something has to be done. You can't have Angel Hernandez out here calling the worst strike zone you ever seen, man. Like, something got to be done. I don't know how to fix it, but something got to be done.
They should be disciplined for how bad they are.
They're never going to be.
You do bad, you get disciplined. But there aren't enough umpires coming up the ranks.
Yeah.
No one wants to be umps, referees.
Nor can you fire them.
Yeah, this tracks down to like high school ball of just there aren't quality umps and referees coming up the ranks. Also, you give professional baseball players time to get used to the same strike zone every single time. At some point, they're going to start dominating. Like, whether you're throwing 100 or 105, these hitters are good. Like, if you know what you can swing, think of how good Marquand is. Like if you can just zone in on this box, it never changes. No matter where you play, they're going to start to take over.
I actually like that point. That's a good point, man. That's kind of low key. And when you think
I thought about this for a bit.
Yeah, you must have played baseball.
Hey, right?
It's just like when you kind of think of it from that perspective. It's like, you know what? I absolutely love the human element in the game. I just hate when the human emotion gets in the way.
Yes.
I do wish that there was some way that you could avoid situations or go back and kind of rewrite situations like we saw. My goodness, the perfect game here.
Armando Galarraga with a robot ump. That's a perfect game.
That's one of the ones where I would have been like, hey, can we go to some type of like official review to just say that this guy who knew he made the wrong call, you know, and that's even more kind of pointed situation to it. He knew he made the wrong call. There should be some type of reprieve, some type of system that allows you to kind of undo those types of things and actually get the call right for the integrity of the game and what fans are thinking from the outside looking in.
Yeah, I mean, you can challenge those plays. You have like, I think a finite amount. So hopefully that would have been rectified, but that's the problem. That perfect game will never happen because of a bad call. We all know it as the 28 out perfect game. We know it was a perfect game, but unfortunately on the records it will not go down that way.
If you're thinking Tropic Thunder, and you read Josh from Detroit's chat, that was funny, Josh. Never go full robot.
never go full robot. Y'all were cracking me up yesterday, man, on Big D Energy. But
thank you.
Shout out to the chat family, man. Y'all were definitely smashing that like button today. We appreciate all of the support that you guys give us. Great job as well on the mock. Maybe if we do this again, you guys will wind up giving yourselves a little bit higher grade. That's still. I see the poll that ended at 56, 58% B for the chat driven mock draft. That is hilarious to me. But it's time to wrap this thing up.
Let's do it.
Hey, let's do it. Shout out to our elite booth. Booth. We got Detroit's #1 draft pick, Mr. KG in the sound booth.
You know it. Hey, I'm not smiling either, man. Get that shit out of here. It's fake news, man. I'm on my Donald Trump. Fake news. It's not real.
Smirk and murk.
At
fake
nobody,
news.
as you guys can see in that nameplate. And Woodward Sports MVP. Wait a second. It's a whole Tuesday. And the Titty Booth. We got to get it going before the end of the show. We got JBSMOOOOOV.
Damn it. I thought you forgot about it already. All right. I got away with it for a day, but no. Great show today, fellas.
Hey, let's rock. Hey, Mr. Flannel Sam, the vet of the squad, well-studied, well-prepared, and he brings a sound argument. Mr. Flannel Sam Reynolds.
I don't know what I'm doing with my hands, but that's all I'm good.
I love you.
Kiss the rings. Let's go.
Kiss the
rings. Hey, show the ring, man. Give him one more.
I mean, I got the
rings.
wedding ring right here, so but JJ's got them all across his hands.
Let's
So do
go.
all the other Michigan players.
Kiss the rings, baby.
Let's go. And we got Mr. Matthew Broder. Thank you again, man, for organizing a lot that kind of goes on throughout this show.
Got
Mr.
you.
Matthew Broder, our credentialed Lions and Tigers reporter.
Scooble.
Hey,
Love him.
Scooble.
Yeah.
Scooble.
Southpaw.
Scoops.
And it's your boy Brandon, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credentialed Pistons beat-writer reporter. We appreciate you guys always for the support. If you haven't smashed that like button, make sure you're going ahead and hit that like button on the way out. It really goes a long way to supporting the crew. Tap into Big D Energy as well, 11 to 1 today, and all the other shows on the network. This has been Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you guys. Have a blessed day.
Peace.